school drop off, and so we're just moving right in. That's what we're doing. So, anyway, all right. I'm gonna that's starting, and then the last thing I wanted to
School drop off, and so we're just
okay, and
moving
then I
right in.
don't want to hear myself twice, so I'm definitely gonna close that window, and hopefully that stays live streaming. Okay, great. I think we're ready. So, give me 1 minute here. Just to do Drupal CMS migration. Oh, and the other thing I did is I updated Docker, and I'm really glad I didn't try to update Docker during the meeting because that took like 4 hours or something to upgrade Docker. It was nuts, but
What?
oh yeah, I don't know why. Don't ask me questions about this, but yeah, that was a whole thing. All right, let's do this. Okay, I think we're ready to do this for real. So, woo, 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 woo. So I know where to cut the recording. Hey, everybody, welcome to the June 15th edition of the what are we doing? Drupal AI Learners Club. That's what we're doing. So, this is a live vibing session. And yes, PSA, it is being live streamed. So if you don't want to be on video, that is totally fine. You can kill your camera, mute, and so on. But we're going to try to do it live. So in our last thrilling episode, we were attempting to upgrade my blog, which is still on Drupal 7, Drupal 7.9.0. Sorry, 7.90, not quite that old. 7.90 we found out last time, which probably is still ridiculously old. I think the EOL for Drupal 7 was what, like January of last year or something. So like it's an old site and it's seen better days. So this is it. This is my little site that could here. And it hasn't been touched in a very, very long time. And right, won't be logged in anymore. Nope. Okay, whatever. And we went and asked Claude to make a plan because I asked for a vote whether we should YOLO it or we should make a plan, and everyone was like, "For the love of God, make a plan!" And so we created this plan with Claude, which is basically to use the new Claude Code Dynamic Workflows feature to kind of chunk out this migration into a bunch of different areas. So what we got through last time was we created a like a little target environment. So that was on a local host. It's running ddev. It figured that out all on its own. It figured out to do that. And it's talking about it hit. This is good for Randy to know. It hit some problem where Docker Desktop did not work, and so we had to put it on some weird port, and that allowed it to go forward. And then where we got blocked last time is it was choking on the fact that it couldn't log into my remote host. And the reason it couldn't do that, by the way, which I found out later, is because it refuses to use a password login because it doesn't want to know my passwords. And I'm very happy for AI not to know my passwords because I don't know what it's going to do with it. And I did not have my public key set up on the other side to log in with it because I had just been using password logins because I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, so it did all that and it put it into a folder on my local host, and I'm going to share the chat with Claude that led up to that so that folks can kind of catch up. Um, which is it said, "Yay, you fixed your stuff." Now I'm in there. It confirmed that we're using Drupal 7. It confirmed we have some dump tools. We don't have Drush. So it basically did a whole bunch of work and came up with, okay, here's the database. It's got this many things. Here's the files directory. And it went and it junked a whole bunch of stuff into a local folder called D7 snapshot. And blah, 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 blah. Oh, and then it was like, you're also not using best practices, which is probably true. Because one thing I mentioned at the last meetup is, this is a Drupal 7 site, but it's really a Drupal 4.6 head site that's just been like updated like throughout because I used to run against head because I was a core committer and I wanted to find the latest bugs and stuff. So anyway, and then it's got this handoff doc, and that's kind of interesting because what it's doing is as it's completing steps, it's marking them as complete. So we have current blocker was SSH access, now it's resolved. So you can see the diff of the handoff document that I showed you. And now the next steps are going to be, launch workflow A and start inventorying all the modules and stuff. So this is like now into like migration stuff. So I wanted to stop it from doing anything else so that we can do that because that's what our point of the session was. One other thing I want to share, which is interesting, is so last time it got very bungled up in that SSH stuff, and it was fun to watch because we thought it would have problems, like it would try to run update.php or something on a major version upgrade, and it did not do that. It knew it had to do a fresh install and pull things over, so that's pretty cool. But then what it got screwed up on was just the basics of like, it tried to, basically it didn't do like a single like, hey, can you check that before you go, launching a bunch of sub agents about logging into my site about this. And what I did at the end of that session was create what's called a skill that encapsulated everything that it learned from that interaction. So give me one moment to pull this up. I think it's a merge request actually.
The skill is like, don't go full minion on your server.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Don't go full minion. Yeah, it's like so it's this issue here. I can paste it in the chat. This merge request. What's cool is, so two things is cool. One, it's like now there's, this is the Drupal AI best practices project where we're attempting to sort of centralize all of these kind of best practice knowledge things so that AI screws things up less often in the future. But anyway, so it made this like Drupal legacy migration skill, right, with 14 checks, and that's neat and everything. It also made a Drupal remote site access one, which is really interesting. And actually, let me pull up the actual skill content. So the legacy migration one, for example, says you should use this skill when you're asked to upgrade, migrate, or rebuild a Drupal 6 or 7 site into a modern stack. And so, it's a data migration, not an in-place upgrade. It also, I didn't know this, but apparently we removed the migrate module from Drupal 12. So in Drupal 12, you won't be able to do this anymore. So it's like, make sure if you're going to upgrade to from Drupal 7, you do it now because I think that's coming out in December or something. But anyway, so it's like, cool, here's a bunch of stuff that it's writing out. And so once this is committed, then all agents from here forward that are using AI best practices will understand that. But the other thing it came up with is this remote access skill, and which captures all of the learnings with what happened when it tried to connect to my DreamHost account and blocked me out of it. And so here you see stuff like, verify connectivity before automating. Wow, what a concept. That's cool. But what I wanted to show, which is really interesting, is this AI best practices module has what are called evals. And think of evals as like automated tests for your skills, right? And that's what this chunk is here. But like, check this out. So it runs this eval framework. And what's neat is the legacy migration, it's like, well, even without the skill, it was still passing. Like we made one thing slightly better, where it's getting, yeah, it was getting 2 out of 3 passing, and now it's getting 3 out of 3. But this remote access skill, like without a skill, it's failing at 100% of the time. And now with the skill, it is passing 100% of the time. So that is actually like a really great addition. So, right, like again, Randy Faye is gonna like kill me about what I'm doing with my site. But the point is, if you do what I did, it will at least no longer DDoS yourself out of your own like thing. And that was like Claude Opus, the smartest thing as of 2 weeks ago, that was doing this. So anyway, I thought that was kind of neat that, we are YOLOing this. We are live vibing, I'm calling this, because it's definitely not coding, but it's something. But what's going to happen is we're going to hit all kinds of problems, and then we're going to capture those problems in a way that helps everybody else from here forward have an easier time moving from Drupal 7 to modern stacks. So that is my preamble. Any questions or additions? Did I miss anything from those who attended last time or those who didn't attend last time? Or like, what What are we doing here? Is it clear enough to folks? Do I need to go over anything before we jump in?
I just wanted to add that I saw it in some parts. One of the things that people are going to run into with something like this, because I think your site is fairly small still, with bigger sites, is context draw. And I see a lot of things, you need to do things with sub-agents. So that's going to be important as well. That if we put this out, that ideally we push people to do this in a phased approach and like validate things in between somehow, even if people are non-technical, because if you try to do it in one go, I tried it. So I continued with client sites to push them, and the amount of compacting it had to do and so on was incredible. And then the results are bad. So I think that's something that we need to pay attention to when we publish something of this later on. Let me take that into account.
So
Yeah,
Dieter,
it's
what is, oh, go ahead.
no, it's the part that I sent you about, telling Claude to delegate to lesser agents, kind of lesser models, stuff that is. So the main opus should be doing the planning. We need to move this module, and that can be a Sonnet one. And then that has advantage on two parts. Your usage is separate for opus and Sonnet. So that saves. And also that handoff documents that you show is exactly Claude giving you a document so you can start a fresh Claude and say, read the handoff document, let's continue.
Yep, that's right.
am
And why we're doing this with dynamic workflows, that's the feature that we set out to test, is because it is basically doing that. It's using an orchestrator agent, right? Especially in complex legacy code bases. Yep. And so what it does is on the fly, it creates like all of these like little where does it explain this? It creates all these like little subagents and delegates things so that each one subagent is only working on one particular aspect of the overall problem.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask is, Dieter, could you define for people what context rot is and what compaction is, and why those are issues that people need to be mindful of when doing kind of an ambitious project like this?
Yeah, basically when you start working with AI, AI has a little book it can write stuff in, but your book only has so many pages. And the more you work with it, the more your pages get filled up. And at some point, your book is full. I need to get a new book out. So either you can work with handoffs and just basically say, I'm going to choose myself, and that's like /clear in Claude. Then it just starts a new session and use a handoff document. That's also why having that thing, the status bar at the bottom, that made you made it go ding at $5 spent the last time. It's handy so you can see your context window and how long your session still lasts for and so on, to keep an eye on that. It's very handy because you can say, okay, my context window is 70% full. I'm going to make a handoff document and start a new one. And context shot is basically the more your window, your book gets filled up, the harder it has to find the right information, because it has to go between the different pages in your book and find, and it's forget stuff to add stuff. And there's graphs about that. The more your window is full, so the more data it has in its little book, the less useful the output becomes. And that's something to be mindful of. A lot of people forget because they type in ChatGPT and they keep typing and interacting in the same chat. And the longer it goes on, the worse the results are. And then you basically have to say, I'm going to start over, or I'm going to start a new chat, taking the most important information with me. And compaction is what Claude does automatically. Once the window is almost full, depending on which model you use, at some point it's going to say, I don't have any more room in my book. I'm going to make a summary of my book and get myself a new book to start. And then it starts compacting it. So it's basically creating your previously on vibe coding with webchick little intro for the new book that it's writing, and then it starts it over itself again. That's how I try to explain it.
That's an excellent explanation. That's honestly the best I've ever understood that. Thank you. I also pasted a link to a YouTube video that Kristen Paul shared the other day, I think over the weekend, which is context engineering in 29 minutes or something like that. And that was actually a really great explainer as well. But I actually like your approach much better about like little notebooks for things. So like, I don't know if you're like me, but I love like buying little cute notebooks whenever it's like, oh, this is going to be a life-changing notebook. This one, I know my life has been a disaster up until now, but this is the time, my life-changing notebook. So it's like buying little life-changing notebooks for your agents. But then they, can sort of like cross-reference like what they were doing and where they were at. So, okay, so let's dive in. To
I
things.
think Randy wanted to say something as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, Randy. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just for the future of AI, I'm really surprised that the training didn't get this because people have been doing this with DDEP for almost 10 years now. And the state of the art, which was developed many, many years ago, is to have your local running with the old one on DDEV, and as a peer, have the new one with the new code running and use the database from the old one as a start and do that iteratively. And it's a great approach, and people have done that over these years. And I'm really kind of surprised that Claude didn't know to tell you to do that. Anyway,
It did. It did. I just wanted it to do it for me because I'm lazy.
okay. But was it doing it as a separate site, or was it doing it and then working on it? Because that's the key difference, is
I
running
believe
two
a separate.
projects.
Yeah, hold on. Let
Anyway,
me.
it doesn't matter. I just
Well,
was saying
it does
there's-
matter. No, it's a good call out that what we want to encodify is actual best practices, right? Not whatever unholy thing is happening here. But yes, it has a DDEV C Drupal CMS migration thing, and there's some way, I don't know Docker, I'm sorry, but there's some way for me to like pull this up. Before we left last time, we looked at this and it was like truly, oh shoot, I'm not sharing my whole screen. Sorry, give me a second here. Whole screen desktop. So last time we looked at it, we saw it actually, yeah, it had installed a fresh Drupal CMS site. I just don't remember how to get back into it now. Which I can just ask it how to get back into it, I think. But yeah, it knew to, for example, grab DDEV. So it knew that that was the best practice to do. And then it set up this Docker thing for DDEV. And then before we signed off last time, which I'm sorry, that video still isn't published live because I'm like, there's some stuff in that video I don't necessarily want broadcast to the internet. And so I have to edit it down. But where we left it last time was it actually had a fresh Drupal CMS site installed, and we were able to see that happen. So it knew that. It knew to do that. Where we were getting stuck is because again, I was just trying to like make AI do my job for me. I did not have a local like copy of my Drupal 7 site down, and I was trying to make AI do that for me. And that's where it got hung up because it, like how I would do it is I would use my password and just SSH and rsync and like whatever. And it didn't want to use a password, so it was trying to SSH with like the public key version, and that wasn't set up on my other the other end was basically the TLDR on that. So but yeah, it knew a lot more than I expected it to know about what to do. So before I close this chat window, or maybe I'll just do a new chat window anyway and just keep going here because last time we ran out of time. I'm having it just learned a bunch of stuff about the way, the right way to grab a site backup and stuff like that. So I just wanted to remember that before we move off. But okay, let me do a brand new, Drush, sorry, Claude. Let's do a brand new Claude session here now. And we're going to say, I don't want to do Opus for this. That's very expensive. So I'm going to switch to model is Sonnet, and trust that the awesome plan we came up with last time, which is in handoff.doc, is going to work. We'll find out. Okay, so I'm going to say like, hey there, we're porting my old crusty website from D7 to Drupal CMS. There's a handoff.md file with next steps. Please continue. And let's see what it does. Do.
Need some elevator music now.
Yeah, right. We need like some nice like do.
You know, a little.
By the way, if you ever
opera
want to
song.
just be if you ever want to like laugh so hard that you think you're going to die, you should attempt to sing happy birthday on a Zoom call because it's like everyone will have different delay offsets and so this could be similar. It's like, yeah, that kind of thing. All right, so it says I'm Up to speed, the next plus one is Workflow Run A, an ultra-code dynamic workflow that inventories the D7 snapshot and writes migration state.md. So let's verify that DDEV is running and the workflow agents have a live environment to query. So yep, let's do that. I hope DDEV status is the right way to do that, but it looks like it is. Oh, here's the URL. Let's pull that up. I think that is going to be our destination site. Let's double check that. So if I boop boop boop. Yep. So this is how far we got last time. Is it's now in a this is Drupal CMS. If you haven't seen Drupal CMS, it looks very fancy. There's updates available. Great. So apparently new things have come out since last week. But yeah, so it's so that is good. So DDEV is up. Now let me get a quick survey of what's in the D7 snapshot. So for this, I assume it knows where the D7 snapshot is. But maybe not. Maybe that wasn't written to the handoff doc because where this guy put it was, I think it was in the home directory D7 snapshot. So it'll be interesting to see if it knows that. Sure. I don't know what you're doing. Go ahead.
It wants to do an ultra code prompt.
Yes,
And I think
ultra code. Ultra code is that that dynamic workflows bit.
Gotcha.
So what Carlos was saying is, well, Carlos, you can go into it, but you're like what you were saying is if you try to use the big high thinking Opus for everything, you're going to run out of money very quickly. And
Correct.
so it's better to have Opus do like the planning and the orchestration, but then delegate little subtasks to cheaper models that run on their own. I think Dieter, you were saying the same thing where if
That's
what
yeah.
that yeah, go ahead.
You have both two ways. The way you're doing it in a new window, or you just can stay on an Opus window and you tell it you are the architect, the orchestrator, and implement everything on sub agents with Sonnet. So basically what you're doing right here will have happened coordinated by the Opus window in Sonnet. That makes sense. So you don't have to do the orchestration manually of the plan document. The
That's what you
advantages
were. Yeah.
yeah. The advantage I found there is that if the plan needs correcting, Opus will correct the plan and keep implementing that way. And the ultra code is if you type in a new window /effort, since they have effort, you're going to see that there are, there you go, waiting for Claude. So now you have, because you're on Sonnet right now, once you change your model, you move to a Sonnet, you're going to, but they don't have an ultra code. So you see it has only max, it's the amount of thinking it's going to do. But if you change the model first, so escape out of this and change the model back to Opus, to the default, there you go. And do again effort. Oh, did you do oh, maybe you don't have that in your subscription. Did you do the 4.8 with 1 million? Because you need the 1 million. You need
I only have
oh,
Sonnet with 1 million. I don't have Opus with 1 million.
okay, yeah, because of so ultra code is one of those models of beyond max, which is actually extra high and force the use of dynamic workflows.
I see.
That
Okay.
is ultra code. And dynamic workflows are basically the AI is going to do a JavaScript little code that calls multiple agents, and it starts with like 6 or 7. I've seen it grow up to 100 something, but it's supposed to be able to grow up to 1,000
Neat.
different agents. That's dynamic workflow. And those agents can be on a lesser model. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Right on. Yeah. I'm sick and tired of typing yes a bunch. So I've now hit Shift Tab a few times and now I've got auto mode on. Auto mode will just accept yes unless it's like if it tries like while it's doing just select queries, it's like that's not very dangerous. If it tries to do a delete or anything, then it will tell me to say yes. But I'm just like, go do the thing. Stop bugging me. Yeah. So my understanding is that I could orchestrate this myself, right? I could say, Opus, you're the orchestrator agent. You're in charge of the plan and the progress through the plan. and delegating that off to agents. But what I'm trying to do is make use of that new feature where it should automatically do it, but we'll find out. So what I would expect then, based on what you're saying, is that it will, at some point when it finishes this, what it's doing right now is that it's exploring the existing code base in order to figure out what the migration path looks like, right? So it's trying to understand what modules does this site have installed. It's exploring everything. It's very interesting. It's looking at input formats, right? So there's filtered HTML, full HTML. It came up with there's 920 comments. So it's trying to, I think, get the lay of the land on the existing site and understand like what it is that it needs to be ported.
In this example, Angie, is where I will have said to the that agent to I would recommend to use a sub agent in a better model if it was possible, and it will make the decision. And most likely, it could have done this on a sub agent with Haiku, where it just Haiku executes the commands and return to Sonnet, and Sonnet becomes the one kind of telling you the analysis.
Okay, we can do that in a second here. Yeah, Carlos, not Claude. Carlos had like a really nice prompt that you can find in the AI Learners channel. I don't know if we got a handy link to that, Carlos, or not, but it's like, yeah, well, I could do that, but I don't want to do that because no one else is going to know that that's a good prompt to use. So, but it looked really handy because it was basically like telling it to work in this way, right? Where it's like you, by default, do your, by default, use the cheaper models and then use Opus just for like the things that need smarts, like keeping track of where we're at and all that kind of stuff. I am curious what's in this migration state. Oh, he hasn't written it yet. Whatever. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, I'm curious what's in this file. So, okay. So it's talking about there's managed files, there's custom roles, content types, fields, taxonomy. These are the enabled modules. Yeah, we went through this last time. Essentially, I'm not running anything other than core and like 2 other things that have to do with spam comments. Oh, there they are. Antibot.
It is interesting because you see, for example, the color module and I think comment, which as far as I know are no longer in core, but contrib modules now. So very curious about the
Comment
full
is
plan.
not
It's
in
gonna come out.
core? Whoa.
Color, I'm fairly certain of. Comment, I'm
Color
not
makes
100%
sense to
sure.
not be in core, but comment.
Comment
Wow.
is still in core. Comment it is. Color is not.
Okay.
Yeah. PHP code. Cool. Oh, this will be fun.
In other windows, Angie, I still think that you, of so many people, should try to use AMA, which is still sitting somewhere in Drupal.org to as a guidance
Can we
to do
migrate
this.
accelerate, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I built that. I mean, I didn't build it. Wim and other smart people built that. I was like the product manager of it, but yeah. And I tried very hard to use it before I transitioned over to the data and dev tools space, but I didn't get a chance. But yeah. Okay. 3 things need, yeah, the site is small and clean. Clean is an interesting word that I would not use, but cool. Most things map cleanly to built-in content types. Great. One node uses Drupal 7's PHP filter, which doesn't exist. We need to identify and convert it before the migration can run. I can do this next if you want. Files, media, file entities. Okay. I don't actually know what the advantage or disadvantage of media versus file entities are, so I'll probably ask it that question. And then comments.
Well, it says right there what the recommended path is to use media.
Yeah, I think I'll just do that. Okay. Let me know your decision on those 3 gates, and then I'll proceed to run B. Okay, one question. Are we using dynamic workflows for this work? Because I'm trying to do what you're saying, Carlos, but I don't want to like I want to actually use the feature. No, I didn't. Your message said continue without the ultra code keyword, so I made the pragmatic call. Okay.
Ultra code is the password.
That's the password. Okay. And it was workflow originally, which is what we tried, but then they changed it. Like this stuff again, it's like
Same.
this is why I'm like nobody knows what's going on because they change it every other day. Okay.
That's
come on.
lame.
Ultra code.
The cloud
All right.
documentation only changes every week or 2 weeks.
Ultra code. Okay. Can
Everybody
you
say ultra code.
You say it.
ultra code
Activate.
migrate my
code.
site ultra code to Drupal CMS ultra code? There. Do the thing.
You have to say it like you're narrating. The recording in progress thing just came on.
I saw that too. I'm very worried that it hasn't been recording, but that's
But it
weird.
was like
It was recording.
and live
Oh boy.
streaming.
Well, we'll find out what that's about in a minute.
Maybe it's just a notification that they added that does it regularly. So if people join later,
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that could
Oh
be.
yeah, maybe. Like
trying
Okay.
to keep positive spirit.
Yeah, no, I love it. Thanks. It might be that we only record the it might be that the answer is yeah, I don't think so. No. Ultra query is supposed to be detected by a Cloud Code runtime layer, which would put me into workflow authoring mode where I write JavaScript orchestration script to that. But looking at my available tools right now, there's no workflow submission mechanism. I have bash, read, edit, agent, Interesting.
You should ask it what is ultra code, what levels of subscription have access to ultra code, because that might be your problem. And I think the recorded message is assume AI trying to tell us to stop being silly. Like, remember, this is recording.
Mm-hmm. I had a really interesting thing last week. What's that? Sorry, Matt. What'd you say?
Claude came back and said, I shouldn't guess on this. Let me check the docs.
I checked
Well,
the
it was funny.
announcement. and
Last
it's
time it
for
didn't even know this was a feature it had. We had to remind it of that. Pro is on there. So if you're on Pro, they're off by default, and I need to enable them first. Okay. So check
I think
Claude
if you do it
version.
like run/config,
Yep.
and then it should show you the toggle.
It knows how to do it. Just tell
No,
it
it's
to change
on.
your
It
settings.
says true.
Check for workflows, maybe?
Maybe it's just like ultra code first.
Dynamic workflows. That's gonna be it.
Oops, sorry. I think I hit enter. I need to do that. Hit space. Okay. Okay. Try again. Please ultra code the crap. Oh, now it's okay.
Now it's
there
like
we go. Yeah, now it's shiny. The crap out of my D7 site and ultra code it into Drupal CMS, please. Okay, let's try that. How are you doing? Only fine. This is frustrating. Okay. Thanks for the feedback.
So the real takeaway here is when you type ultra code, does it do the
If it doesn't do shimmery purple things, then
yeah.
Then we may not be now. What I want to do though is I want to keep tabs on this business.
The billing.
Hold on. Stop. I want to keep track of my usage data, and I want to make sure that because I don't know what's going to happen, and that was one of the things I wanted to see is how much this jacks up my my whole business. Just give me a second. It's gonna do that, and then it's gonna send me a note in my email, and I have to enter a code and da da da. Just give me a second here, and I'll get logged in. All right, and then let's go to usage, I think. And so what we found last time is the usage was not going up at all. And the reason was because all of the things that we were doing were still contained in the plan. June 5th, that was the last time I did work with this. So I guess we'll find out. Cost? Was that what I was looking at? Cost. Okay, so far I've spent 99 cents. We'll find out what happens when as we progress here. Great. And sorry, I need to go back to sharing my whole desktop.
Dollar
Okay.
store migration.
Yep. For the low price of 99 cents, you can upgrade your ancient Drupal 7 website.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah. So what I want to see is I want to see what it's doing. I think right now it's not doing anything.
It's thinking.
It's thinking.
Sock hopping.
It's sock hopping,
It's
not thinking, please.
It's clearly telling you it's combobulating will be next.
Yeah. I love the little verbs that it uses. It's awesome.
Oh, I love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost done thinking with high effort.
It has a headache, and it's going to tell you it has one.
That's interesting, Randy, about the team plan.
Yeah, did you want to
switching
say that
the
on
u-
mic, Randy?
Switching users.
Yeah, sure. They're very generous with their nonprofit plan, and DDEV's a 501c3. So they pretty easily gave us a team plan, which cost us about the same for 5 seats as we used to pay for 2.
Mhm.
And so now we switch between them if we run out of juice. We also don't use Opus if we can help it. We only use it when we feel a need.
Yeah.
Have you, Randy, have you asked them if they can give you only the 2 seats, but in Pro Max? Because
I
in
didn't
Pro Max,
understand that.
if they can give you, even if it's only the 2 seats that you need, but in the Pro Max 20 times, because you get even more. Right now
Yeah,
you're
it would
multiplying
be.
by 5, but
It's
one
more
Pro.
than we pay $40 a month for those 5 seats,
Oh
and the
yeah.
Pro Max would cost at least $100 or $200 a month, which is probably more than we're open to what's most appropriate, but it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to think about the budget on those things. So
I thought they may
It's going to
do it for a
change.
non-profit.
It's going to
That's
change
neat that they offer that.
significantly. I
Sorry,
feel
go
like
ahead.
if I look at the pricing, there was a tweet from someone that investigated the API cost, what you get in like a Pro, a Max and a Pro Max plan. And it's like 20x that you get based on the API prices, which of course is not cost related, but at some point I feel like the prices are going up. So we're also optimizing in the company. How are we going to do it? Do we give everyone a Claude premium seat in a Teams thing, or do we give them a Claude and a Codex one? Because Codex allows you to do more. And I'm the one that has to make the decisions, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on the viewpoint. So right now we're going to using Claude and Codex because they also have 2 models that can like evaluate each other, because then they don't get to pat themselves on the back when they do work. We're going to see how far we run with that. But it's
That
interesting to
workflow is
figure out
very
the
common,
pricing.
by the way, even like in the wider AI field, is you kind of people bounce back and forth between Claude and Codex pretty freely and kind of pit them against each other. It's funny because when you tell Claude that Codex is going to be reviewing its code or vice versa, they sit up a little straighter and they're like, well, like it's like, wow, this is taking a while.
one thing that I saw a reference to the other day is somebody was suggesting that that all the prices for AI will go up once the uh, stock market stuff is all done. And if you
Yeah.
think about what Uber did, they subsidized it massively in the early days to get us all used to it and feeling like it was great. And then they started raising it to a reasonable market price. And that's probably something that could happen to us. We all get addicted and then they raise it dramatically.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, that does seem like the path we're on.
And that's why I'm
Uh,
really interested in like open models and what's happening with that. So this is a thing. Can I
Oh yeah, I
find
just
it
heard
from
about
like
this
2 days
the other
ago?
day. Yeah.
There's this thing called Open Router, which is kind of like it's a product that does what you were saying, Carlos. It like shifts workloads back and forth between models to like optimize them for whatever makes sense. And then basically it's not quite what I was looking for. I was looking for more like a product page kind of thing. This maybe. Um, and what this does is allows you to, kind of use like the best model for the job, depending on what the job is. And so like, by synthesizing these three frontier models, you get a better result than just like any one of these by itself, kind of thing. And then the other thing you can do with something like this, though, is like that is completely like open model stuff, right? Like Gemini plus Kimi plus DeepSeek. With Opus then just doing like the orchestration layer kind of stuff. So it's interesting to look at different types of approaches like this. That will, because I predict more and more as you point out, Randy, as the price of these things starts to level out to be what they're actually delivering in terms of business value. I predict that a lot of people are going to moving a lot of workloads to internal models and open models and that kind of a thing. So it's a great time to be an open source because I think this will, these frontier things will still always be at the forefront and you'll still use them for like the really gnarly tasks. Like the plan we put together to migrate this site, I still would do that with a frontier model. I wouldn't try to wing it with like Llama or whatever, but like um wow, this is just taking a very long time. I probably should have opused this part. Because I think it's like, but I
Maybe
don't
you
really
should
want to kill
say,
it because it's like still in progress. But
Opus will have been better for creating the workflow, but that's the reason it's creating the whole workflow. So it's
yeah,
probably creating a JavaScript for a couple thousand agents.
yeah. Luke, did you want to
I,
talk a little bit about Gemini and Cursor Composer? Because like I have worked a lot less with those things.
Sure. I mean, Gemini is Google, right? Like
Yeah.
if you just type a Google search phrase and click the little AI button, you're in Gemini. And you can get a Gemini CLI tool. Just brew install Gemini's CLI, I think it is, and it's pretty good. It works. It works a lot like the other things. As does Cursor, the AI editor. They have their own model. It's called Composer, and it's easy to access inside of Cursor, or same thing. You can brew install a Cursor CLI tool.
Hmm.
Composer. I actually forget what it's called. I usually access when I'm accessing Composer. I usually do it inside of Cursor, so I'm not calling it from the command line.
Yeah.
a related hack is remember that Claude code as a harness can actually use any backend. So you can use it on cheap backends, you can use it against anything, and you still get the same Claude code um, familiar usage or using it in VS Code or whatever, but you can be going against a different model or a cheaper model or whatever.
How do you do that? Do you download this and change some config or like what
Yeah,
do
it's
you
just config in Claude Code.
just
It's just, yeah, it's
And
easy.
you can actually even set it up so you can be using different um, um, uh, different models. Just simply like, for example, I've got a Claude account through work, which is one of the private AI dealy boppers, and I've set it up so I can get to any of the models just by typing in like Claude Work or Sonnet Work or whatnot in my command line, and it'll just swap to any one of those models right in VS Code.
What is that called? The swappy thing, or is that just built into VS Code?
It's just built into into Claude. You just set up a config file where you tell it what model you want to map to those words.
Interesting.
You can actually ask Claude how to configure it to connect to a different LLM, and it'll just tell you.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe I'll do that in the web because I don't want to. We're
I
still
already
sock
did,
hopping here 12 minutes later. So yeah.
Angie, I already did that, and it's basically saying that it can be used to models beyond the first-party Anthropic API in 3 tiers. Cloud
Mhm.
Claude in other clouds, so Amazon Bedrock and Google Vertex, etc. Any Anthropic API compatible models. So anything that has an Anthropic-based URL, those are variables, what it's showing me. Anthropic underscore base underscore URL. So a base URL, a token, and a model. And so it seems like you can actually force it in some way, like setting the base URL to whatever gateway the other API
Yeah,
is,
that's
and then
interesting.
adding the token.
Yep. Neat. Okay, something's happening. Dynamic workers with tokens by running many sub-agents in parallel with counts against your usage limits. Stop a dynamic workflow anytime with workflows or disable workflows. Okay. Yeah, I want to view the raw
One
script
thing
actually. I'm curious. Oh, yeah.
I
Go ahead.
nice, yeah, one thing I've liked about these dynamic workflows is you can interrupt them without losing everything, which is pretty nice.
That's neat.
It's one of the advantages of having it in that script is it can like go through and restart it using the
So
exact
it keeps
same.
track of state. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the thing. Pre-flight, generate, customize, import, verify. So pre-flight, source database is migrate D7. One node uses PHP code. So it's customized this for my site. Okay. It's going to attempt to solve the PHP code. And honestly, I'd have to remember what even that is about. I want to say it's like a redirect or something. It's like weird. I don't know why I did that as opposed to redirect module, but list all node bundles, all fields, media bundles, vocabularies. Okay. Generate. And so this is what it talked about doing before is generating a bunch of like deterministic migrate scripts rather than so I wonder if it changed its mind with that. And then customize. The story content type must map to article. Yeah. Okay, whatever. I'm not reading all that.
One thing I'm curious about, Angie, is
Yeah.
how is it going to tackle the porting of your front end team? Because when I was working on it, I noticed that Claude was very bad at visual comparison, and it always quickly said, "I'm done," and then you check, and it's complete crap. Like what it
I
actually
don't see
output, it doesn't
anything about a
look.
theme in here at all, to be honest.
It literally at some point said your webchick custom code wasn't in the local snapshot.
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
I think it skipped that for now.
I read that in a message, and what Dieter is saying is true, and that's one argument that I have with like you just tell Claude and to move a Figma. It actually tries to do screenshots and it sucks. It's bad. It does not do a good job. So you really need to create the visual parity and kind of define it. And it's CSS parity and interactions parity, and it has to look exactly the same. And it has to be all around. I mean, it really needs to be done at the CSS level.
Okay.
Or it's not gonna do it.
Let's see how far it gets with just the data and files migration, and then let's tackle the theme next.
Is it already running now?
Yep.
How did you get to that interface? I have not seen that interface.
Oh, it told me to type /workflows, so I did, and now I see this.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah. That's neat.
Now you see,
so
now
I
you
don't
see
see
how it
rainbows.
I don't see rainbows, and I'm a little disappointed, Claude. I'll be honest. Like, where are the rainbows?
because it's going to you see that 3 out of 4 agent on top right.
Yep, up here. Yep.
it's gonna be like 3 out of 8, 6 out of 10, 10
Mhm.
out of 12. And if you're thinking about your users, you start suffering.
Well,
You're like,
we're
"Ah,
about to find out.
stop adding agents."
Where is my stuff? Not that here. Yeah. So let's see. One of the reasons, by the way, that this specifically this day, June 15th, was the day we wanted to do this by, is because this is the day they change the I wonder what I spent 99 cents on June 5th. That's so weird. I have no idea. But anyway, on June 15th, I should say, was the day that they were changing the pricing of this like thing. So apparently this is fine if you use like the native Claude stuff. So I'm using like Claude Code, I'm using a Claude subscription, blah blah. But were you to say, for example, like I know oh my goodness, why is his name escaping me? Iopsio is how I pronounce his Drupal.org game, but like he built this whole thing off of the back of the Claude
Mateo.
code that thank you, Mateo. Yes.
Yeah.
This whole thing off the back of Claude code through these API calls, and now it's like unclear what's gonna happen like from here forward, like how much that's gonna jack up the price because now instead of using like the tokens and stuff that are part of my subscription, right? Which is why like you don't see any bars on June 15th because we're still staying within the subscription limit at the moment. But if these were all API calls from some third party tool, then this would be jacking up every time I run one of these things. So it's interesting.
Is
I
it
would love to have
Soria,
like
the
a little
thing that
bit
Mateo did?
more. Say that again.
I think it's Soria, something like that Mateo did.
It's like it's not Daria, but it's something like that.
Well,
Dahlia.
Dahlia.
Dahlia, that's it. Yeah. And Robert Douglas is mad about the same thing about
Mhm.
the.
Yeah, because Robert Douglas has Spec Kitty, I think it's called.
Yep.
Spec Kitty,
Yeah.
yes. He did a big thing with the Spec Kitty and making it his business.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. But yeah, so this is why I'm saying like this open router stuff and delegating to local models, that's going to be the next thing because it's not just that Claude Code changed their pricing model. That was kind of hit number one, but also like the US government bans Fable was another thing that happened. Right? So it's like that can happen at any time, right? Just you grow reliant on a thing and the US government is just like, no.
I
So
think I think what's going to happen with Fable is that they're going to use it as an excuse to prove that you're actually a U.S. person. So you have to do something like provide your driver's license or passport in order to access it. I think we're going to find that it's a harvesting activity.
yeah, that makes sense, sadly. So
My evil operator theory is that they're trying to get revenge for Anthropic refusing to let them use it for autonomous killing drones.
hmm Yep.
It's the Trump people like flexing their power.
Apparently, there's going to be an exception, but like Karpati, the guy that worked at Tesla and then OpenAI and now went to Anthropic recently, like one of the big names, he's not a US citizen. So in theory, he cannot access Fable, the main thing from the company he's working for. So it's kind of
Oh yeah, it
crazy.
was completely built by people who are not necessarily US citizens,
Yeah.
right? Like a mix. So it's too dangerous to give them access to the thing they built. It's like
But
what?
did you read the announcement of that? Why the US is like Anthropic is trying to say this is stupid because it's like all they have is proof of one action that's so beyond the code that it was supposed to see. It's like it was something very stupid that caused the US government to say this. If you read the blog, it's basically what they're saying.
This?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're banning Fable for things that all the models can do. It's not they just don't understand. I don't think they care.
No. We
So I
also
probably wasn't paying attention, but the migrate D7 to Drupal CMS dashboard that you have up there,
yes.
what is that and where did it come from? Is that the work
Yeah, so that was
workload
up
then?
here where it was it spent like 100 hours on this
Yeah.
plan, and then it came up with like 5 steps, and then it said run workflows to watch it live. You'll see each agent's tokens.
Slash
So I
workflows.
so
Okay.
I typed slash workflows, and that's how I'm seeing this. And then what happens is I can go back and forth between the steps, and then I can see like the sub steps, and then if I like hit so I'm using like the arrows. If I hit arrow again, then this is like showing me what it's running underneath that. So it's running 12 tool calls. It's kind of interesting. But I don't seem to be able to like commit like control O doesn't really work to give it more depth. So this is as in depth as I can do, I think. Okay. The page bundle has no body field. What? That's weird. It certainly ought to have a body field. I'll update the process.
I believe that is in Drupal 11. They've been trying not to give stuff that usually people add, so make it more clean.
I see. All right, so it's done pre-flight. So it fixed the PHP format. I'm very curious how it did that. It was a redirect script. Yeah, that's what I thought. Huh. It was a redirect script. If the current path started with node, e.g. my node page, it called Drupal goto to redirect the visitor to this specific. Oh, yeah. Does anybody remember that awesome testing party of 2008? That's dating us quite a bit. But oh, that's so funny. Okay, I know what was happening there. It was like what I wanted people to do is so in Hungary. So this is at DrupalCon Szeged. This was the time we were introducing automated testing, and it was like, a huge change in how contribution workflow worked and stuff like that. And so we ended up creating a bunch of these issues ahead of time that were all tagged testing party 08, I guess. Let's see. How do I do this? Issue tags. Oh, what? Testing party SF. Oh no. Did they get deleted? Well, anyway, it was a long time ago. But what we did was pre-create a whole bunch of issues for this testing party, and then we basically split the room in half. So all the people that have written tests before in one half of the room, all the people that hadn't written tests before in the other half of the room, and then paired them up. And everybody brought chocolate from wherever they were in the world, and there was this huge pile of like international chocolate on top. And we had a guy slinging Hungarian pancakes. And the idea was like, as you wrote a test for whatever the thing was, you go up, get some chocolate, and eat a pancake. And we just did that on a loop for like 2 hours, and by the end of it, a whole bunch, like 300 people knew how to write tests. It was very cool. Anyway, so that was like a one-off thing, I guess, to do that. So okay, so it's calling ddev drush migrate status. I don't know what drush migrate does. What does drush migrate do? Anyone who knows things about drush? And is that just like a read-only operation? I kind of wish
I
this
think
would
it's
be
actually
more.
gonna run.
Yeah, I think it's running. We could probably test that, right? Because we could look at the Drupal 11 site, whichever window that's in, this one. And if I hit command refresh, pages maybe? No, there's still only a home page, so not yet. Justin saying it runs.
The last three are status, so I don't know.
Could you say again?
That it doesn't seem to have run the actual migration. It's just testing, checking them.
Mm-hmm.
You see, discover migration IDs.
All
Now,
right.
there you go.
There we
D6
go.
user role. Look below. Boom.
D6 user role. I wonder why it's running that. Oh, I think I remember this. So if the migration didn't change between D6 and D7, which it probably didn't because there was no like data model changes back then between those two things. And it falls back to using the D6 version. Boy, am I so glad I don't have to figure this out. This is like a great use of AI. If this actually works, is like awesome. Like great job, AI. This is amazing. The migration failed with a fatal error, table not found, but no rows were processed, so there are no per row messages. The error was at the migration startup level.
But look what
Filter
is running now.
Meaning the source migration is missing the filter formats table that the migration depends on. Okay, so now it's trying a D7 user role, and it made that up, right? Because initially this only had two things, and now it's trying it again from the D7 perspective.
Yeah.
Interesting. Where was that? Oh, 6 out of 7 agents. So yeah, like you were saying, Carlos, it keeps bumping up the effort here as it goes through.
Yeah, it's been nice to you. The last one I run got to 158. Can't remember what I was looking for. I was analyzing a full code, Next.js and Drupal. That was it.
I wonder why it went for D6 at first when it knows it's a D7 site. That's interesting. All right. It says it migrated my user roles. Let's validate that that's in fact true. So if I go here and I go to people, maybe roles. Ah, look at that. There's a webchick role.
Ooh la la.
Why do I have a webchick role? I can't remember.
Maybe because you're webchick.
Maybe because I'm webchick. I think because we didn't have
My
content author
role.
administrator, I think is why, to be honest.
My role.
Q is Spartacus moment.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Q is Spartacus moment. I am Spartacus. No.
Yeah, I am webchick. Ah, okay. I was like, cool. So then that also means that now people should list. No, it doesn't yet. So it hasn't imported myself yet. It's only got the admin user that it's shipped with. But presumably what will happen now is this webchick role exists. The user to role like thing webchicker exists. Yeah. I don't know why it's starting on D6 all the time. That's weird.
I think it's using the standard D7 scripts D6, D7 scripts that were created. So maybe it's just trying first the old one, then the new one. Very, very typical of it.
Let me go up a level here, back to the prompt, and let's see if I can say.
Like only use
hey
the
there.
D7 prefix.
I don't think I can. I don't want to exit out of workflows. I want that to keep happening. Shit. Okay, well, we're about to see if it could resume. Didn't mean to do that. I hit escape one too many times. Hey, why are you calling D6?
Angie, it's running.
Is it running?
Yeah, look below your status line.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, that's great. Why are you calling this when this is a D7 site? It seems like we're burning tokens for no reason.
It'll say, that's on me.
You're absolutely right.
I need to eat and charge tokens.
Thinking with high effort.
You're right to push back.
You're right to push back. Let me
That's
validate.
the other part. I put the Slack for the prompt for CloudMD in the chat previously, Angie, by the way, never told you.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Yeah. So everything that we want to persist past this thing, throw it in the Zoom chat because we have a little script that goes through the Zoom chat. And good catch. Stop it now. In workflows, press the X to stop the run. The completed pre-fight will be cached. So we won't re-spend those tokens when we resume. Cool. Okay, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to say workflow, not workshop, workflows, and I'm going to hit X. X.
It is a stop now.
Anything. What is it saying? The problem generates configs for both D6 and D7 migrations, and the discovery agent likely handed us the full list, including all . The import loop is spinning up an agent per D6 migration. Wasted work. While you stop it, I'll fix the script to only filter on D7. Cool. Okay, press X to stop the run. But how do
So
I do that?
go down to, you see where it says migrate D7 to Drupal CMS? No, just go with your arrows.
This?
Yes, and then X. Now that you're there, type X.
Oh, okay, there we
Boom.
go. X. Bam.
And down, and now, oh yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Escape.
and now escape. Okay, rerun. Okay, I stopped. Rerun, please resume from where you left off. By the way, ultra code, because I wanted to remember that. Okay, workflows again. Let's try that. Okay, cool. And as it said, those check marks remain there. That's cool. Okay. Oops. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I hit too many arrows. Sorry about that. That was my bad. Workflows again. Workflows. Okay. Boop, boop. So it's still in import. So it's read. Okay, so it backtracked a little bit, right? So D7 user role and D7 user role, these were both done before, I think.
I
So it did
don't think
backtrack.
the user role was done.
No, it wasn't. Okay, what was it?
Oh
Right
yeah,
in here?
no, it was done. It was done. Just right. It's
Yeah.
role. If the user was never done.
This one wasn't done, no, because it was just like, what are we doing here? So again, once we're done with this, whatever happens here, once we're done with this, I'm going to capture that learning and a skill for AI best practices, because like that is wasted work, right? It's generating way too many migrations, like double the number of migrations that are needed, and then it is like attempting to run D6 logic against a D7 site, which makes no sense. So okay, so here we go. We're doing the users. So then what I would expect to happen is over here under people. Oh, there I am. Look at that. There's webchick with the role webchick, because I am webchick, whatever. 18 years, guys. Wow. That's a long time for my
I
blog.
loved your last. I
Last
loved your last
access.
access and how
Yes.
you lived dangerously root 1 week ago.
Yep. That's why I created a webchick role. Yeah, so it was 100% because admin didn't exist, and I didn't want to use user one for everything. So I made user one root, and then I made webchick the one I actually did content authoring with. That's what I did.
And then never use it.
I don't know. That will be
For
prevalent
years.
when we do the pages stuff. But yeah, it looks like I authored that with root for sure, the homepage.
No,
Oh,
but the
wow, it's
homepage
broken
there,
now. Vocabulary.
the
What's that?
homepage there in Drupal CMS in pages, that's basically the Canva stuff. If you want to see your content, you're gonna have to go to CMS in the left sidebar. It's like just a bit different.
What?
And I think
Not
that might
yet.
also be a default page that it added.
Yeah, that's just the out of the box stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
We
pages is like
haven't
your
done any.
layout builder.
Nothing has been imported yet.
No.
No, it's still working on users and taxonomy.
Yeah,
So like I
we're
know
on
this
taxonomy.
from working on AMA. You have to start at the very edge because you can't create a node, right? Before all the fields and all the taxonomy exists, before the author exists, right? So you have to go like this. So like a node, a required field of a node is author. If the author doesn't exist, you can't actually make the node. So that's why it's starting with users, because users have no dependencies. Well, except for roles, apparently, which is why it's starting with roles. But yeah, so it's interesting because it figured that out. I remember this being a huge thing with Acquia Migrate Accelerate, where like we had to order the migrations in a logical way so that they wouldn't fail all over the place. So it figured that part out. So what it's doing is it has to import everything that a node could rely on in order to import the nodes. Otherwise, it'll fail because there is no user two, for example, or anything like that. So, and yeah, Carlos, that's right. June 15th change, that pricing change only affects non-subscribed users. Well, it affects two things. It affects non-subscribed users, but also people doing API calls rather than going through a code. Like if I were using open code, for example, instead of Claude code to do this exercise, I'd be paying API prices instead of what I'm
Yeah,
paying.
because you cannot use your subscription. So anything that is API, but everybody that is subscribed is gonna get a little stipend every month.
Yeah.
That basically matches whatever you pay monthly.
Okay, it hasn't
So
done
you
it's done
so you get
something.
20, 100, or 200 a month for API.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know what that means. Like these things are just made up. It's like what is a token? What does that mean? You know what I mean? It's like it's hard to know. Anyway, this is cooking now.
Ooh,
One thing
first
on the
48
node.
interesting,
failed due to source files not existing on the file system. Interesting, because it did pull them down back in the other chat that was working on that. Interesting. Uh-oh. Now I've lost my way. Okay, here we go. In this one. Huh.
First
So
node
one of the
coming.
things. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
First node coming. You see the 7
Oh,
node
node's
story,
coming. Yeah. Okay.
and you are on 19 agents.
Am I the Zoom? Oh, geez. Yeah, I am. Look at that. Ooh, boy.
but is that the active agents at the moment or the total number of agents and the ones that are finished? Because I think the
The ones
19
that
is finished and the
19 is
20 is
already
what's,
finished,
yeah,
but they are sonnets,
but
so
that's good.
they count to the
That's good.
others usage.
It's every agent has its own context window and doesn't have all the history. So it's like a dedicated task. So it makes it cheaper to have all those separate agents through the
Yep.
workflows than having one central opus that has to steer everything and absorb all the information normally.
Yeah, because like this was originally covered in the design one that Aiden led, but like when you go back and forth in chat with Claude here, right? And we're going back and forth, and I say, "Why is the sky blue?" or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like it passes the entirety of our chat back and forth and back and forth, so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as it grows. Right. And then even if I ask about something else, so this is why like one chat per task is like a really good like idea because once it gets full, what'll happen is it will engage what's called compaction. And that's where it attempts to save you from yourself and just like shove everything that it's learned in this session into like something, but that's a lossy it does so in a lossy format. So in other words, it'll forget whole ass facts that you guys talked about because it wasn't written to a markdown file or something that persists between sessions.
But that's
So that video that was posted earlier kind of talks about that problem. And so what Dieter is saying is each one of these gets a totally fresh notebook, right? Life-changing notebook. And the only thing this one's worried about is the D7 user migration. It doesn't know anything about the overall plan. It doesn't care about what these other agents are doing. It's just working on that one.
one thing, Angie, with if you are using plugins in Claude, Claude Code exposes hooks for that. There is actually a pre-compact hook, and it knows that when it's going to compact, and it's a bash script or something very deterministic, where you can actually return to Claude when you finish compacting, read this doc, or before compacting, write all this here and then read those docs.
Yep.
And there is also caching, and that is something important. Cloud Code for subscribers, and I know Justin was correcting me on that on Slack, gives you an hour caching. So, sorry, it's an hour caching. So it actually doesn't necessarily send the whole conversation if you keep typing. So if you are on an hour caching, it's like 1 hour or 5 minutes. That's the two options. But if you're writing on that moment, the prompt gets cached. But if you wait for an hour, then or change the model or stuff like that, then the next call is gonna go completely. So they have reduced that to avoid token usage. They've been nice about that.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. All right, so media didn't work. The files failed because it can't find the files, which is interesting that it did that. You said pages is some canvas thing, so it won't be in pages, it'll be in CMS. But I'm not seeing any nodes under CMS. Ooh, trash module, that's neat. Okay, this migration failed because we don't have D7 node type. Okay. And node complete page did not meet the requirements, probably because it doesn't have a node type. So now we're into node types. That didn't work because we're missing, right? It's just like these things are like, it's like a spider web of dependencies, these migrations.
Oh, it did
So
not
it's
detect that
interesting.
well.
Yeah, that one it did not detect. Yeah. It should have been able to figure that out. The other thing is it's like, cool, so what are you doing about that? And it seems like it's not doing anything about that. It's just saying, oh, it failed and it's moving on. And now it's on to advanced poll, which I think was
Well,
when I was bike shedding, or I was doing beta testing for like Drupal Association voting or something like that. What was that, Amber?
well, before when it was doing that all that auditing, was it just doing it on the source site or did it do any auditing on the destination, like the structure of the
It did
destination
at least
site?
a little bit of auditing on the destination because it noted here it noted um
Where some
it's
problems
like
were.
this is the source site, here's all the things that it found, right?
Mhm.
And it noted these are the content types that exist in my thing, and let's drop binary poll because there's not even anything in there about that, right? Here's this, and then further down, oh yeah, it does talk about the theme. But anyway, further down, it talks about, I think it was, but yeah, like here it's like we need to convert them to media entities, right? Because that's what Drupal CMS's content model expects. And this should be mapped to administrator, like, so it does know about both ends, I think. Like it's making decisions. Um,
Yeah, it's too bad it couldn't spit out like a spreadsheet of the mapping or something like that.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it can do anything that you ask it to.
Oh, it could have. It could have even create what's it called? The little graph JavaScript tool. I always forget the name.
GraphQL.
No, I want to say Mercury. What is the model that is using to do graph? Anybody? Either you
Mm,
should remember the. Oh my God,
Mermaid.
Mermaid.
Mermaid, yeah.
Oh, Mermaid JS, yeah.
It can create fantastic things in Mermaid.
Yeah, let me exit back here. Can you make a mermaid diagram of the migration? See what you do with that.
And according to your little number, you are on $5 almost.
Yep. And because of how we configured our start line or whatever, what is this called again?
Status line.
Status line. It is going to
Tell it to
it's
put it
going
in
to
a file.
ding as soon as it comes over for $5 worth of usage, which will be fun. That'll be enjoyable.
It gave it to you to copy paste, Angie.
Yeah, how do I copy paste that? Where do I put that? Like in a GitHub gist or something?
Copy. No, in Mermaid.
But I don't have Mermaid, I don't think.
Free Mermaid.
I think there's a free tool.
Free Mermaid.
Yeah, no, that one, the one that
Oh,
you were gonna
sorry.
click.
Whoa. This one here?
Yeah.
I don't want to sign up for a thing.
There is
Ah,
open editor on top left, top right.
bup.
Just close that. You managed to close it. You see, open
Sorry,
editor.
my open editor. There we
Yeah.
go.
Oh,
Yeah,
it will require you to have open source. Look at that.
there we go. That's what I want.
And,
Okay.
and you paste it on the.
Boop. Let's try this. Okay. And then if I erase this and put this, oh Jesus, look at that. Wow. Yeah, that's about how I feel when I sit down to think about migrations. It's just like,
It
what is that?
has. Oh, they changed this, but it has a way. I don't see it. That you can change it. Change the order automatically some way.
Okay. Config maybe? No, that's just the
No, probably on edit. I show something edit visually.
entity relation. Ooh, that's cool. Class diagram, sequence diagram. Huh. No, it just edit visually, sure.
Yes.
Ah,
Oh,
I can create an account. I'm just annoyed and I don't want to do that. So we're waiting
but
for
anyway,
one dynamic workflow. Actually, I want to try that. Can you hear that on your end? Probably not, but it's
Yeah,
I did.
I
I did.
heard
Oh,
it.
you
I did.
did. Nice. Yeah.
It was
Let me.
making me crazy until you asked.
Yeah.
It's like the alarm that my refrigerator makes if I leave the door open.
Oh, your
My dryer,
refrigerator
we
is
have,
nice.
yeah,
So based
we
on the
have,
budget that was in the original invite, you still have like 200 more beeps we get to go
oh,
before the credit
great.
card runs out.
And we're up to 34 agents now. Oop.
My
Um,
refrigerator is not that nice. It's like screaming at me when I leave it open.
We
By the
got
way, what
new
might be handy
appliances.
to do
What's that?
is in a separate tab, is in Claude, ask it to add the context window, so the book size and how much in the status bar. So like we did the last time with the status line when we added the dollar amounts, if you just ask it, I want to see the context window in my status line, it's going to
Oh, yeah.
update that. You can do it in a separate window and it's going to be
And it'll
doing it here
take
because
effect
it's
over
running
here.
here. So I think it's good to
Okay.
not interrupt it. And it's a script, so every time it refreshes, it runs that script with the data, I think.
Status line add. What was I adding? Sorry.
Context window. And what you can also say is when it's like above 80% or above 70%, make it red, and then it's gonna like make it colorful if you want to make it visual. I need the colors too, because otherwise I'm not paying attention to it.
Okay. Status line was something that we like horsed around with at the beginning of last session. You know, it was just like, what's your favorite slash command? And we were like doing a bunch of these kinds of things. It was fun. Claude agents to see them all in one place. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Boondoggling. All right. Meantime, what's happening here?
It's going into direct database query
Still
search.
trying to figure out the
That's when
status.
it's
This is taking a long time. Wow. Okay, but anyway. Okay. Oh, here we go. 2% context. How are we doing over here? 50% context. Okay. That's a nice addition. Thank you.
You can
So
add a lot more. Mine is quite expansive because I also add the 5-hour window in the subscription that you have and the weekly window, and when it resets for the 5-hour window. But that could be very busy in information.
the usage against both my 5-hour window and weekly windows. And again, highlight in red when approaching 80%. Meanwhile, this thing, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. Why do I want to edit? Oh, to create a skill.md? Yeah, sure. That's fine. This first window, by the way, ooh, and this is why Carlos was saying last time I could make him a different color. So I could say this is cyan. And that's the one that is, and I can also do rename, I think. Rename to Skillify Lessons Learned. Old lessons. I'm going to call it that. And then this, I can do color red or something. And this is migration. Oops, color red. Rename migration. And then that way, when I'm flipping back and forth, I can tell which window's doing what a little bit more easily. This one is like doing status line stuff. Anyway, okay, what did you say? Comments won't migrate. Drupal CMS doesn't have comment module enabled by default, so that entity type Doesn't exist yet. We'll need to enable it after the workflow finishes if you want comments. Why can't you enable the module for me ahead of time when you already know I have comments on my site that need support? All right, anyway, while it's thinking about that, let's see how this is going. We're still on, whoop. We're still, wait a minute. Oh, wow. Tons of stuff is happening here now. Blog, field settings, instance.
Did they work?
Yeah, did they work? Nope. Missing bundle entity. Yeah, I think this whole thing is going to fail hard. So, Dieter, when you did this, you did not use dynamic workflows. I guess you did it slightly differently, but were you running into some of these same issues where it's like it was trying to import stuff without the prerequisite stuff being done yet?
Not really, because I didn't run the migrations in all separate agents like it's doing now with the workflows, but it was basically just running them as a set, and then it marked the dependencies. In the generation, the data migration was not the huge, my God, it's the end of the day, I can't talk anymore. Was not the biggest issue, gotta use an easier word. The main thing that it really got stuck on is how did it need to tackle beans? I need to steer it in the right direction because it kind of went a little bit off path, and then all the visual stuff. Because I also made it use Canvas for page building for both content types and for like the page manager pages that were in Drupal 7. And it can build it, and I was impressed with how far it could get, but then like the finalizing visual stuff and especially some complex stuff, it just stopped way too quickly. So that's what I'm trying to capture in skills is when you do a visualization inspection, you need to make sure it's like 95% okay and not close enough, and I'm gonna call it a day.
Yeah. Oh,
This was fine.
we're getting there.
Oh, one thing that it did run into is that it also generated Drupal 6 stuff first. I needed to tell it to not do that.
Yeah.
And then it also didn't, because I want to be able to rerun the migration and then do it again at the end to get the latest database in case there's updated content. And it didn't take that into account. So it was doing a lot of manual manipulations on the target site without putting that in scripts or anything like that. It's reproducible. And I think the workflows make that a lot better because it works more in a script mindset.
You could tell your main window right now that the workflow should retry in migrations when they fail after the what's the word, the requirement is met, and maybe it can figure it out.
It could, but yeah.
So you can tell to your main window that is creating the workflow to remember to rerun failed migrations when their requirements are met. Perfect. Dependencies, that's the word. Can we speak in Spanish? It's easier for me.
So my conclusion from this is Wim is much smarter than Claude. Wim figured out all of this dependency stuff. Now let me fix the workflow script pre-flight phase to bake this in properly. Is it worth killing this job and rerunning it with the proper dependency order? Because I just feel like it's chasing its tail right now, trying to import a bunch of stuff that is never going to
But
work.
Andy, that matches to the discussion, or not discussion, the little exchange we have in the AI Learners Club between Scott Falconer, me, and a guy trying to do a Figma to Drupal theme migration. And for me, is all these little things that you're adding there is what you start kind of adding to what today Jürgen in a call we had called it wisdom of or memories of Claude, because that's something that you're going to find on any task that you send. You can ask it to do the task, it's going to do it, but you're going to discover, well, you should have seen dependencies first. So that should be something that you add, and that's what you're trying to do with AI best practices, the
That's
skills,
right.
the different stuff, and that's what it's all about. And I think for the AI learners that have not played with this, I think the message is if now they did wrong, is if you already have a bunch of things that other people have proven help do this on the first try, follow them and save them.
Yep. Yeah, AI best practices has been like kind of a nights and weekends project since DrupalCon, but it started to get actually useful like last weekend when I added, well, I did, sorry, Christoph Breedert from 1X Internet added the original GitLab skill here. And then I spent 7 or 8 hours one weekend making sure it actually worked. Because because we do things really weird in Drupal compared to standard GitLab, and then GitLab does things weird compared to GitHub, which is what Git, like most models will be trained on is like the 90% case, right? So there's a bunch of things under here we learned the hard way. Like for example, issues and work items, right? When you create them, actually this one wasn't as bad. I think it was more merge requests. But it's like merge requests. There's like this whole thing about issue forks, right? That's a very specific Drupal thing. When you make it, you have to leave a comment with these special keywords, and just like none of this stuff is obvious. It is documented. If you look hard enough, you can find documentation, and actually like the DA has done a great job of like making these blog posts that thing. But the agents don't know anything about this, right? Because their cutoff date was August 25. Right. And so everything to do with migrating to GitLab post dates that it doesn't have any of the knowledge and stuff. So like this is an area where this skills-based approach is actually really helpful. Even if you hate AI, you could still read this and understand how this is meant to work, right? And you can still, go find like relevant infrastructure issues and stuff like that. So this is why I was really keen to develop something like this for Drupal. Because it was, what is happening? Why is this pre-flight taking forever? Hmm. Why do you know why it's stuck on enabling modules? Question mark. So I scheduled this for 2 hours. So I will cut it off at noon probably, unless people want to stick on. So I was really hoping to have this done by then, but maybe not. I don't have anything in my schedule till I think 1 though, so I could keep going for an extra hour. But I just like I don't know who's going to sit and watch this that long. But if you folks are happy to have this in the background or whatever, that's also fine.
It's highly amusing.
Sweet.
I'm having fun.
Great. Okay, let's hang out then, because this is fun. There's an enable modules agent. Wow. Why is there an enable modules agent? We could just use Drush, right? Enables module agent is done. The fixed PHP format agent is looping. The fix was already applied and it keeps retrying instead of reporting success. Sweet. Ay, ay, ay.
This is like the robot vacuum that gets stuck in the corner.
But
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at
yeah,
that.
exactly. It's dong, dong. Yeah, it just keeps banging into the furniture. Yeah. Okay,
But
whoa.
Angie, did you see what it did when you asked it? It discovered the problem and rewrote the little JavaScript.
Yep.
So that's the advantage. I mean, and I think that's the importance that you know what you're doing. Somebody that doesn't know will not have realized what you just realized.
Mhm. It's interesting because it now has a whole bunch more steps. What is happening here? 5 agents. Let's go into this one. Okay, that's looking better. Why my little arrow keys don't work anymore? Escape workflows. Okay, and I want this one with 5 agents. There we go. Okay, we're generating the upgrade. Okay, then we're customizing it. Map story to article. It mentioned that as a thing to make it conform to like Drupal CMS's standards. Fix file source path. Ooh, so maybe the files will work this time. That would be cool. And drop advanced poll and keep comments. All right. The other thing though I noticed is I'm gonna run out of usage very quickly because what was my prompt again? Here, let me X out of here a couple of times. I'm at 92% of my 5-hour usage. So this whole section's gonna end in about 3 minutes because I'm gonna hit the end of my usage code. Or maybe it won't. Maybe then it'll burn tokens.
Do you have extra usage turned on?
So I have $20-ish in credits, I think. Let's look.
No, that will be in the other one. Not on your API. That's not gonna go through your API. It's gonna go through your normal cloud.
Oh,
because you are a subscriber. Go to your expand that and go to your user at the bottom somewhere where you're logged in. Well, yours is different than mine.
Normally bottom left, but I think it might be just outside your actual window. Normally at the bottom below the chats, you have
There we go.
There it is, settings. Go to usage.
Yep.
And you have extra usage. You see on the bottom, turn on extra usage. And you have
your monthly spend limit is quite high.
No,
you might
thank
want to
you.
adjust that.
200. Woo! Nope.
Rich people, wow. And you have actually, it seems like you've been using, you already use some extra usage. You see that?
Down
you
here.
already used $76 already. I don't know in what. I don't
No,
think it's
I
this
didn't.
window.
I think that's what it has spent, but I haven't been billed anything other than that 99-cent thing.
So it's gonna take money from below where it says CA, you have $33. Right there.
This?
Yeah, you see you have 33.26.
Yeah.
Basically, when your 5-hour window is up, it's going to start eating into that up until your limit or until the current balance. So like auto reload is off, you can see, which is something I would advise anyone to do because otherwise
please do not turn
it's
that
gonna go
on.
ding 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 in the background.
Ding ding
and
ding
then you
ding.
can limit it.
Yep. We don't want
everybody needs to remember that's the way Claude eats and pays the bill. So it's not going to be nice about it. Like, oh, I can spend more money. Let's do it.
Yep. Yeah, 2,000, no. 200, I can eat $200. That's like a couple of nice meals with my partner. And then I'll be like, I'm sorry, I ate our nice meal with my partner budget on AI eventually hit me. No, I'm just kidding. It's just like but yeah, that's a little easier on the old wallet.
2,000, this would definitely finish.
Well, yes, I'm sure it would, but at a certain point, I can pay somebody to migrate my website for.
It might do some dumb stuff on the way there, but it would get done.
Okay, one question I have is, so back to my Drupal 7 site again. So are you going to be smart enough? Maybe you now will be smart enough, but you're going to be smart enough to realize you've already done some of this, right? You already have a webchick. You've already got the role there. I'm curious.
You should ask it. Maybe it fixes the workflow before it starts.
Or running these sub agents.
Angie.
Yep.
You have 2 running right now.
I saw that, yeah.
So I don't know which one, but ask it if it's running 2 workflows because
Why are there two of these running and what are they doing? Oh boy, here we go.
Amber, yes, but especially if you enable remote control and the agent asks for permissions, it gets stuck.
Stuck in a loop.
No, it just gets stuck. It doesn't work anymore.
Mm.
The D6 contaminated run. These are likely stepping on each other. Great. Please stop all of them right now. Okay, sure. XX.
I, sort of wish that it had prefixed those workflows with
Yeah.
WTF instead of WF. I think that might have been fun.
Yeah. Okay, let's resume in one dynamic workflow, please, as I'm almost at my usage limit. Sad face.
Tell it to check for whatever was already imported.
Oh yeah, right. Quit. Stop. Okay. And also, please check to see if running, sorry, I can't see because the Zoom thing's in the way. If running parts of the migration are still necessary since previous runs got partially through. This seems like it will also save tokens. As you can see, I can't be bothered to spell properly. It'll figure it out.
You don't need to spell. It's doing so bad for my writing. This is like it understands.
Boop. All right, we have hit it. So now, in my little, not this, you said it's in, sorry, too many tabs. This guy, nope. That was prompt caching this. Put that closer to my little windows here so I can see it. Okay, so now it's going to start spending. So it's at 7624. Writing a lean workflow that skips everything done. Cool. Good call.
Hey, why don't you go back to your website for just a second and let's take a look at taxonomy.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. We have two tags. That's fun. That has nothing. This one has stuff. Yay.
Oh, weird that it didn't use the existing vocab.
Uh-huh.
Weird
The
slash
thing to clean up
wrong.
for next.
Done it.
You made a tags vocabulary when there is already a tags vocabulary. We should migrate into Drupal CMS, not create a weird parallel system for everything.
I wonder if there's a skill we could create where when it fails, it like returns Oregon Trail game messages.
Your taxonomy has died of dysentery.
Oh no.
Yes. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting really super useful.
Yep.
I mean, this is all about mental health management, like
it really is, right?
Yes.
That's what we're here for, is the mental health management of
like psychological safety during a migration is very important. It's a serious issue. So this will help.
Now I want a failure to happen.
Me too. Once the run finishes, I'll check whether there are two vocabularies or one, and whether the article from this point in the record, if the story migration fails because of vocab management. Okay, cool. I want to see what it does with this.
You know something incredible, Angie? That everything
Saved
that
and
is happening.
retroactively. Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
man.
Carlos. You were trying to say something serious, but we are
That
past the point of
no,
serious.
you're doing this on a Sonnet agent. Is
I
what we
am.
haven't talked
Should I
about.
stop doing that too? Should I do Opus?
I mean, no, it's that it's doing very good things, but you're still in Sonnet.
Yeah.
So maybe an Opus orchestrator will do better with that.
I mean, I can kill it again and start it over. Should I
Did you
do that?
catch it? It said press space to ford the river anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it was
No, I
totally,
did not catch that.
yeah, right at the end there. Right at the end.
That's great. Okay, that is so funny. All right, hold on. Workflows, kill you. Okay, I'm getting good at this now. Okay, escape. Model, Opus. Yes.
That's gonna kill your cache.
Okay, the full history reread. Whoof. Okay, this is gonna blow out our context window. Here we go. Whatever. Or I guess I could kill this whole thing and just start a new window.
If,
Maybe I'll do that.
but wait, before you do that, tell it no, go back.
Huh?
Just select the go back and tell it create memories and documents so we can start in a fresh window. So that way the handoff gets.
Sure. I'm going to start over with Opus in another window. Can you please capture all learnings from this session into a skill file
Is it a
for,
Not a
handoff?
skill file, a handoff file. Don't say a skill.
well, I want both.
Well, you want learnings
but
into
this
a
is a
I
handoff.
want this. I want current state into migration state.md and create a skill file to capture learnings for all future sessions against the AI best practices project. Because that's the whole point of doing this. Is like I don't really care if my site moves to Drupal 11. I'll be perfectly honest, but mostly I just want to hit a bunch of bugs that happen when you try to turn AI loose on this problem and then capture them. Okay.
Caramelizing.
I know I love these verbs. They're so great.
You can find a list of them online somewhere, I think, because they leaked in the Cloud Code.
You can customize them
Code
too,
leak.
which is pretty cool.
I can't come up with any better than those, though.
All right, so it's writing to migration state. Phase run B is in progress. Imports partially complete. Okay, well, that's not that much of a handoff, but sure. Okay. Great. Let's go to session number 3. Claude. Model, Opus. We're done horsing around, folks. We're doing this expensive now. And what was it? Reasoning? No. What was it? Thinking? What is the way to make it smarter again? There was a slash.
Effort.
Effort.
Ultra
Effort, yeah.
code.
Effort. That was it.
Oh.
Ultra code.
Oh, look at that!
Oh!
That's so cool. All right. Ultra code. Ooh,
Oh, we are
now we're
rainbows.
All right.
Yes.
Let's finish this migration. Sunglasses. And let's see what it does with that.
It's gonna find the memory. Boom.
There's a migration state and a handoff. Yep. We're mid-migration. Let me verify the actual current state in DDEV before, because the doc may be stale. That is true.
And that cloud agents I already tested. It seems to be very cool. You see that it says cloud agents.
Sorry.
Yeah, you see below flowing. That is if you're working on several windows on the same folder, you just run cloud agents. So the first thing that you send creates a session. And then you can move into that session and work it as a different agent. And you can keep creating like
So I
sessions.
can't do that from within here, though, right?
No, no.
Or
I
sorry,
believe you see this little left arrow for agents.
Yep.
So probably if you are on the prompt
left.
window and click the left arrow.
On an empty prompt, though. Okay.
Yes.
When Claude is idle. Well, let's try it when it's idle, actually. It might
Yeah, I
work.
think it's when it's idle. When it shows it. It's been showing it to me and I didn't understand.
Okay. Meanwhile, how is our pricing going here? Refresh.
You don't have to
$78
refresh.
now.
So you see it has a little circle to refresh. You don't have to refresh the whole page.
Where?
Up top. There you go. Last
Oh,
updated.
this. Yeah, okay. Oh, right. I want this in auto mode because I don't want to. I ain't got time to babysit you, Claude. Just do the thing. You could not retrieve the. It's still doing D6 stuff, guys. Folks. Oh, it figured it out. Okay, well, good. I need the full migration IDs. They're truncated. Let me get them cleanly and understand. Certificate. Config situation. Yeah, I think we should have been doing this with Opus all the way along. I was trying to save money. Nope. So this is why you pull in the big guns for stuff. Okay, migration state is updated. There's now a skill.md that captures all the learnings.
Check it out. Your context window is already at 71%.
Mm-hmm. Over there it is, yeah. Over here it's only 40.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
Yeah. But what it warned me about back in this window when I wanted to change to smarter Opus, it was like, if you do that, all that prompt caching we've been doing the whole way along is going to vanish, and you're going to have to read this entire transcript back into Claude, and that was going to blow the context window out entirely. So I went and started.
Last, good luck with the migration sounds very sassy.
What's that? I'm sorry.
In the other window, the other tab, it says at the end, good luck with the migration. So it's first like, you can load it, and then good luck with the rest of your migration. So it sounds a bit like, good luck with it.
You know what it probably doesn't have, though, because I didn't see that in the handoff, is that critical thing about, like, by the way, make sure, this is very important, that when a migration fails, it generates Oregon Trail ASCII art and tells us the workflow died of dysentery or whatever unique, horrible fate you decide.
Yeah, I mean, let's get our priorities straight here.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the best things about. I mean that ultra code thing where it went that was pretty cool, I will say. But like this is
yeah.
For the listeners, please don't do that because all those ASCII add to your context.
That's true, isn't it? That's gonna blow out the context windows. Like, yeah,
we cannot penny pinch on humor and like.
We really can't.
Your
Got it on the
window
Oregon Trail
is
death scenes. That's a hard requirement, and I'll bake it into the workflow failure handling.
Requirement.
It matches your setting preference too. First, there's a project skill I should load before going further. Okay.
Angie, it seems like now you have to add to your status line how much context is the Oregon Trail using?
Okay.
Wait, now let's do that on our dedicated status line.
This needs to get baked into the AI best practices, and I will
I
totally
think it does.
that
It's
merge
like
request.
this is an AI best practice. If things are gonna fail, make it funny, right?
Yeah.
At least use some Also see, the problem is it's not gonna know what I'm talking about because all the stuff about Oregon Trail happened over here. So let's try it though. Status line. Also, add an indicator for how much of the context window is dedicated to Oregon Trail output. And I think it's going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about, but let's see.
Yeah, I
Because I
think it's
think
like
the other Claude might have saved that to memory. And if it did, it will know what I'm talking about because that persists across sessions. But I'm just very curious what it will do.
Just thinking about it with high effort.
Quick reality check, because this one hits a real data limitation. Is aggregate numbers only. User percentages. It does not break down why, like what tokens. Okay.
Oh.
It is technically possible to approximate it. The payload includes transcript paths, so the status line script could read the transcript file on each render, find the Oregon Trail ASCII or failure block, estimate their token weight, and show. Yeah, obviously, I want to do that. So yeah. Oh, damn. 400. The request body is not valid JSON.
Oh Lord.
Anyway,
just
that's
say try again. Tell it try again, and he tries again.
You're
Not
definitely on a
not
side
here.
quest here.
oh
Side quest.
shoot. Never mind.
Don't, no, don't say anything. Don't say anything there. Just leave it and go to the other window.
Okay. See, this is why I need color.
I'm gonna go, Angie. Thank you very much for inviting me, but Badger's
I'll
playing.
talk to you later.
I want to go watch. Thanks, Carlos, for keeping me posted.
We'll keep you posted on the thrilling effects.
Dieter has an important work meeting right now.
Yeah,
I think Dieter wants to eat. It's like late in Europe right now.
No, Belgium is playing.
My lovely wife
is
made
that
food
what's
for when I
happening?
got home.
World
Yeah,
Cup?
Belgium's playing against Egypt, so I really wanna watch.
Yeah, go.
To see how they're doing.
Yep.
Have a great night, guys. Thank you very
All
much. It was
right,
very
good night.
entertaining.
I also have to go.
All right.
Bye.
You're gonna miss the thrilling conclusion. No, it's fine. I budgeted 2 hours for this meeting. I just let me make sure I don't also have to go. Give me a sec here. I'll put my phone out here. No, I'm on lunch right now. So this is a great way to spend my lunch. Okay, I want to do media entities, right? Because that's the
Yes.
new best practice. Okay, doing that.
Yes.
Keep all 925. Yeah, let's not make it easy on you. Drop in comments, please. Submit. Yeah, do that. It's neat though, because the other one was kind of saying, this is something to figure out. But now Opus is like, you figure this out. And then we're doing it. How's our status line doing? No, it really doesn't like that. I don't know why. Why are we getting that error? Oh, it's just like broken.
Yeah, I run into that before, and you kind of basically have to read it. Like something about the response gets corrupted.
So I have to basically like quit out of here.
Try clear. I don't know.
Ironic if like the ASCII art had too many backslashes and it
Oh, and we hacked it.
Yeah.
corrupted.
I don't have any prior context yet.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sorry, my bad. Okay. We are looking to add to the status line an indicator of what percentage of the context window is taken up by ASCII art from Oregon Trail errors.
Serious question.
Serious question. Canoodling.
We're serious about our
canoodling.
humor.
This is a G-rated podcast.
It says ha.
Got it. You genuinely want it. It's doable. It is mission critical, Claude. Don't let me down. Anyway, that's so funny.
Right. Claude is like, I couldn't tell if you were joking. Okay, you're serious?
Claude should know I'm always deadly serious every time we talk. It's like, I only work on very important things like this. All right. This is genuinely doable. Your status line already receives the full thing. Find the art. Whoop. It's 0.1% dysentery. Great. Whoa. Yeah, sure, whatever. I am so sad that this is my personal laptop because I would love to show up to work later on and be like, it's like, and just not explain it, just be like, all right, I'm pulling my TPS reports.
Oh,
No, I
that's
like the
so great.
percentage. This looks amazing. I could cry. I really could. This is like the best. Okay.
Yeah. It
I
used like
love that it's put in like a germ or something.
Yes.
You
All
didn't
right,
ask it to
wait.
do that.
Hold up,
Bacteria
Claude, my bud.
emoji. Virus emoji.
Are you using Ultra code for this?
Ultra code.
Ultra code.
Ultra code.
Oh, and if we got a failure, hold on. Command O. Oh, no. Why can't I see it? That's sad. I see RIP. So
Test
clearly.
render, not a real failure. It's set up top.
Oh, okay.
So impressed with everyone's scanning abilities.
I know, right? It takes 9 sets of eyes to understand what is happening here. Now we're up to $82. And then I guess when this hits 100, then I really am out of luck, right? Like then I have to go to API tokens probably to. It's pouncing.
Thinking some more with extra high effort.
Yeah.
Check out the function call above. Oregon Trail death.
Wait, what?
Right at the top of your window right there.
Oregon Trail death screen for migration failures. Usage, Oregon Trail death, migration ID and cause. Okay, what? Good. Death screen renders, media types exposed. Cool. Yeah. Yes, UltraCode's on and I'm running under it. Here's the honestness of how, because it's not spawned 16 agents at the migration. Import steps cannot be parallelized. Your own project skill says it outright. Okay, interesting. So I noticed it was not parallelizing and I didn't know why. And apparently that's a Drupal limitation, not a limitation of the tool. The genuine fanout is the verification at the end, which counts all of this stuff. So the plan is finish the inline config prep, then launch and finish workflow, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it's gonna verify some stuff. I missed my little workflows thing, but I don't think I can run it because it's not running any. Yeah, it's not running dynamic workflows anymore.
Was that a config that you turned on before? Like it was confusing to me.
No,
how
it
there
was because I
like,
said ultra code in the name of the prompts.
right.
And I did not do that this time. I think I said let's finish this migration, so maybe I should kill it, but it seems to have independently come up with its conclusion that ultra code is not what's needed here because everything needs to happen in a serial process.
Okay.
I could do that though. Like I could say kill it. Command. Okay. Ultra code this migration, will ya? Okay. Let's see if it'll do that. I think it will not.
X high effort.
I love that it's like probably behind the scenes, like the human is wrong, but the human seems very insistent. Oh, accomplishing. I like that. Very goal oriented.
Oh, rebundle 89 terms into
Yeah, that was in the old
tags.
list though, back up here. So, because I know it's not doing it because that still says no dynamic workflows in this session. So it's interesting. It's like too smart. We are up to 1.2% dysentery though. I just want to point that out. So we are.
Time to get out the ginger shoes.
This is so much fun. Thank you for hanging out with me while I'm just like horsing around with Drupal. Oh, this is hilarious.
Hello to the one person still watching the live stream. Or maybe
Is there
that's
really
you,
one
Angie.
person still?
Is that
That
your browser?
No, because I closed it because otherwise it was gonna
Oh,
feedback loop.
3. It's
Yeah.
up to 3 now.
Ooh.
That could be
Hello,
me,
if you're
though.
joining the live stream.
Hello,
First of all,
welcome.
good for you. Second of all, we are attempting to do this migration with Claude Dynamic Workflows. And I've already used 100% of my 5-hour limit. We used 71% of the context window in this previous chat, and now we're trying it again with Opus this time because we're hoping that's a little bit smarter. We were going to do this with Fable, and then sadly that is not possible. So we're kicking it old school, and by old school I mean 10 days ago or so. And we're trying to use the ultra code mode to do it. Ultra code.
X high effort plus mega.
I was hoping for like an actual Claude or Anthropic URL.
I find
But basically what this thing does is like spawn off a bunch of subagents to take care of stuff. But the problem is Opus is too smart.
Oh, drop a link
You
to
want to
that
run this
URL.
through the workflow engine, not me hand cranking Drush. Correct. Parallel verification or real death screen on any failure with a unique fate per step. Oh, a unique fate. It embellished on our previous idea. Cool.
Well, you did say to it any other appropriate death that you might deem so sure, you gave it permission.
Yeah, it's not doing it though. Because what we saw in the previous attempt was the workflows would show up and you could kind of inspect what they were doing and what errors they were getting and that kind of thing. One sec, I just have to move rooms. I'm gonna mute for a second here, if I can figure that out. All right. Let me author and launch it, except you're not doing that. You're still just canoodling on your old plan. All right, we're gonna exit out because I don't trust you anymore. All right, ultra code the rest of this migration. Hold on, before we do that, once more. Model, Opus, good. Effort, ultra code. Yeah, that's what I like.
Rainbows.
Ultra code the remainder of this D7 to Drupal CMS migration, please.
Where's your Oregon Trail gone? Oh, there we go. It came back. Nope. Did it?
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
there. It's 1% dysentery.
Oh, and shift tab twice, so we're in auto mode, so I don't have to keep babysitting it.
Shift tab twice.
DDev is up. There are no concurrent runs. Good. State doc is from the end of a Sonnet session. Before I author anything, I need ground truth on the live database. Okay. Seems sensible. Let's see what we're up to with the billing. $82. So again, it started though I'll look back in the video, but it started at like 78 or some number in the 70s. So this so far has only cost us like $4. 1.0% dysentery. It even found like a splat, like a virus or bacteria, like emoji to put with that. I'm so impressed. AI is too smart. Ah, who knew upgrading from a crusty old Drupal 7 site could be so much fun? Anyway. All right, it reveals several issues the old workflow doesn't handle. Before authoring anything, I want to resolve key ambiguities. Curiously, there appear to be two parallel migration sets. Oh boy. A duplicate tags vocabulary, yep. The block content table doesn't exist. And D7 field instance is stuck in importing. Yeah, those seems like good problems to sort out. I agree. That's nice though that it's getting smarter. So it's like, let me sort out issues before I turn 34 agents loose on this. Versus Sonnet's like, let's go. And then, was doing a bunch of really silly things like importing from D6, even though it's a D7 site and stuff. How was your weekend, everybody? Anyone you do anything fun?
Try not to melt in the heat.
Oh, I know. Like, this is awful. No. Although I guess you're further south, so maybe it's more like closer to 30. I don't know.
Well, it was in the 90s Fahrenheit.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yuck.
For the Americans, can you make the temperature have both centigrade and Fahrenheit?
Hold it together. You've got migrations to run and statistically much dysentery ahead.
Yep.
Hold it together.
That is so funny. There you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I try to achieve international inclusivity with my live streams.
Yeah, down here we're at 86 already Fahrenheit.
Ick. All right. Both D7 sets have populated maps, yet D11 has single counts. Only one set's entities exist, but both sets are armed. I think that must be what it was doing when it was running two of these in parallel at one point. It was like creating two separate sets. So that's a little silly. So I'm gonna do that so I can see your lovely faces and also this at the same time. I don't know what the Zoom records, but your faces are like on the right side of the screen, like over here. So
Yeah, for us too, or at least for me.
okay, cool.
I think that's the default. You have to mess around with it if you want it to be somewhere else.
I was really hoping to get to the theme porting too, but maybe we will cut this whenever, well, either cut it at 1 p.m. or when the content migration has finished, whichever one comes first. And then maybe we'll do a separate session on porting the theme because I'm very curious to see how it would do that. And it'd be
I feel like
interesting to see. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like the theme might be a totally different set of brain cells to use.
Correct. Yeah. And I think we could capture a lot of really good, like reusable skill stuff out of that as well. But what is interesting is from what I understand, and I don't understand much about modern Drupal. I'm about 5 years out of date with my knowledge, but what I understand about Drupal CMS is there's kind of two ways to go about theming. I'm saying in air quote, which is one is like the traditional way where like everything is generated and it kind of pushes it out like the Play-Doh factories, like your twig theme has little placeholders and you go and like the title shows up here and that. So I think that's the traditional way. And then it sounds like there's also this canvas way, which uses some kind of React something I don't really understand. And so it might be interesting to, in that later session at some point, try it both ways and see what happens, maybe. I don't know.
It would be easy if there were only two ways.
Oh, how many are there? Justin, tell me, like, enlighten
There's
me.
like a gazillion ways. Like
Okay. What are the bazillion
I
ways to port a Drupal 7 theme to
I
Drupal 11?
well, no, just like deciding where to how to do things in modern Drupal. Like you can still do it the old-fashioned way with like the block layout page and just templates and stuff, but then you can use Layout Builder, then you can use Canvas. Then if you wanted to, you could still install like the Page Manager module from the olden days. And there's like,
I don't even
and
think I
I'm
know
not,
the
that's not
page
even
manager.
all I remember. Like if you use Layout Builder, you have to install like 20 other modules to get it to work the right way. And but
SDC.
yeah, then you've got the single directory components that you could use, but you don't have to use. And it's like, nah, like it would be easy if there were only two ways.
Oh, they're now in Drupal core. Yeah, see, this is all the stuff I don't know anything about. When I left, there was Twig and Layout Builder. I remember those two things. That's it. I'm like so out of the loop on all of this other stuff. Do you even use Twig anymore? Is that still a thing, or do we
Yeah,
use?
there's still Twig templates,
Okay.
of course, but and you still have to use them, I think, but you can use them all in different ways now.
Is Paragraph still a thing?
Yeah, paragraphs are still a
Yes.
thing too.
And that's different.
And now you're getting into paragraphs because then you can use layout paragraphs and you don't have to use layout builder.
So maybe Opus can suggest how to do it.
And then you can use Mercury Editor with layout paragraphs and whoo, there's just a
I
lot.
I
There's a
am
lot of
so stunned.
choices.
This is all information I did not have. Wow. Should we do a
Mercury Editor
poll
is cool.
in
I use that
chat?
in the
Like what?
site.
Here we go. Okay. Blah blah blah.
Bloviating.
I
Okay.
remember doing a migration and I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? Like, do I want to use like I remember going through all of these different ways of building the new site. I was like, do I want to do it the traditional way? Do I want to do it with like layout builder? Do I want to do layout paragraphs? Like what? And you get
Let's see
paralyzed
what
by the
Gemini
choice.
thinks about this. Gemini says you cannot just copy and paste files because the underlying architecture is completely shifted from PHP template functions to the Symfony backed Twig. Okay, so it recommends Twig. Rebuild the theme structure from scratch using modern standards while migrating your existing stuff. Okay, cool. You rebuild the meta file, then you manage the assets via libraries. I kind of remember a libraries YAML, yeah. And then you do this, then you convert tipple fips to hitml twigs. Cool. That is now a .theme file, which is funny because it was .theme before PHP template existed. It was like very old trivia, but like in the old Drupal 4.6 days, it used to be called that. Then you port some helper classes. So it recommends, it's basically saying like port the code by hand, which I know there's this thing called Rector. Does that work for porting a theme or not really?
That's only for code.
That's like modules. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tags field, upload field, 30 nodes have node attachments. Now I'll make the deterministic config edits directly. Precise idempotent. Ooh, Claude. You're using like $40 words here. So it's gonna write a
Only $1.94 in tokens for those $40 words.
yeah. Oh, now we're up over
Oh,
2. Cool, cool. But anyway, that's fascinating. What if I were starting a Drupal CMS site from scratch, what approach would I use to make the theme? I'm curious if it has a different answer for that. The starter kit theme generator tool. Does that make sense to you guys? To you folks?
that sounds kind of, I'm thinking that sounds old.
That sounds old. Yeah, that would not shock me. Um,
Although that page said February 2026.
mhm. Well, that was when it was last updated. That could be anything. So it claims there's a Drupal CLI. I do remember that. Now there's a
Yeah,
new
that
Drupal
that
CLI.
that, that,
Did
that
you?
does exist. Yeah, that's a thing.
Okay, so
Yeah,
there is a
definitely.
generate. Interesting. There's a generate theme. Okay. Huh. The list of projects using the starter kit theme. One singular project. Great.
Yeah,
Good
that's not
job.
going to be accurate. Well, you can also, as a theme, you can create starter kit templates so that people could use the starter kit command to generate
Like
a
customize
theme
your base
based
theme.
on,
Okay.
yeah.
All
So
right.
it's
Yeah.
basically a replacement for base themes.
What is, sorry, this is still moseying, so I'm just killing time here right now. But so if I go to Project Drupal and I go into, well, in the olden days it was core, themes, starter kit theme. Okay. So that must be the new, God, what even was that called? There was an S name for this before. It was like a minimal theme that put the things in the right places. What was it called?
Stable,
Stable. Yeah,
which is out.
that's out.
So that
Stark. I remember Stark.
the whole base theme thing is gone. So now you use starter kit to generate a theme, and it
Oh,
scaffolds everything that you need. And it organizes everything. So yeah, the whole base theme paradigm and inheriting from base theme is replaced by the starter kit. So it's like a
okay.
one and done type of thing, and then you just move forward with your
So
theme.
that is correct then. What Gemini is saying to do is like start with the
Yeah,
starter
like you
kit.
can, yeah, I guess.
What do you do? Like, I'm just curious, like as Drupal professionals, not people interloping and trying to figure out how stuff works in 2026. What do you folks do?
I mean, it depends a little bit on the design and the end goal.
Okay.
My guess is for your site, this would probably be just fine. Like if
Like
we're just kind
my
of
site, as you
following.
can see, is the pinnacle of modern web design. Like clearly
Okay,
so much
so
effort
part
was spent.
4 could be Opus redesigns your theme.
Yeah. Yeah, we could Claude design and then have it redesign my theme and output it for Drupal. That would be pretty cool, actually. Maybe that can be a next.
Let's see how many like AI design cliches we can hit along the way.
Okay, that's interesting. Cache cleared mid-repair, so now even PHP script bootstrap triggers the block content driver. Missing table fails. Chicken and egg. Let me find a bootstrap level that still works and check exactly what's surviving. Interesting. Because it didn't find the block content table. Is that no longer enabled by default? Like I am so out of the loop on where even our modules anymore extend. Oh, neat. Okay, so basically everything it tries to do is going to get this modeled like exception handler thing, I think.
Yeah, so the site is busted right now, so
The
it's
site is busted.
needs
It's
to.
interesting that it's busted. Why is it busted? Yeah. Okay. Kill it. Okay, the site appears to be busted at the moment because all pages are giving that SQL state error. How do we, and this is why you do this on a copy and you don't do it live, because this would be my live website if we were doing it the way I originally tried to say. How do we fix that so the migration can proceed? Also, how did that happen? I'm curious. Because the Drupal CMS site was functioning well at the start of our sessions. Busted. That's a technical term, by the way. It was busted. Hmm. Anyway, I just love that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or so different approaches we could take to porting the theme. And there are good and bad reasons to use each one of them. So that's cool. Love that for us.
Cool. Air quotes.
There's just a lot of choices as far as organizing the content.
Yeah, this is why the value of being opinionated is like underrated. It's like, this is the one way we're going to recommend to do this. And if you want to go off the Oregon Trail, like the official Oregon Trail, you can do that. But then you're responsible for your own dysentery. You know, like this is what I think is needed. So,
I mean, we should be at 100% dysentery right now because the site is busted. So,
but I think it's only busting on migration failures, not on overall
Site
failures. I
failure.
think our
Okay.
prompt was a little too. The site is down because block content is enabled, but its tables don't exist. And now that caches are cleared, every page load and most Drush commands rebuilds. Block but definition. Classic chicken. I can't bootstrap Drupal to install the schema because bootstrapping triggers a failing query. I see. Okay. That is what it said above, but I understand what it's saying now. So if it could bootstrap, it could run like the install hook, but it can't. And so it's trying to figure out what to do about that.
Yeah, so like I wonder if part of the skill should be like taking DDEV snapshots periodically and then just being able to roll back to a state that is working and then move
That's what I
forward
didn't
from
know
there.
about that.
Like before it's just DDEV snapshot.
Yeah.
And then
So I have a question about that though. So my site is very puny. It's got like whatever, 100 nodes, 200 comments, whatever it has, 90 comments, something. So for my use case, that would work well. I could give it instructions like take a snapshot of the DB every step, basically, right? And then we could like really resume exactly where we left off. But let's say I were trying to port, Drupal.org, which has something like 1 million nodes. When I do a snapshot, what is that taking a snapshot of? Is that like the entire database gets cloned? Is that like a diff between a backup and now? I'm just trying to
it's a database snapshot. And
yeah,
then
the
and
entire
then
status
there's
of
like
all of your databases, which can be great when you're working incrementally on migrations or updates. Yep, that's true.
and then you
Okay.
can do a restore, snapshot restore, latest, -- latest.
The missing schema was a pre-existing latent condition. My very first diagnostic query of the session already errored. Site kept working only because the block plugin definitions were still cached. And then Drush CR cleared the cache, and that made it a live outage. Okay.
It
Interesting.
says up there's a half-finished module install.
Where does it say that? Sorry.
It's gone. It's gone. We're below the fold now, but yeah, right
Oh,
there.
here. Yeah, that's a half fish. Okay. Interesting. That's probably because I killed it mid mid task. Because I was like, whatever you're doing, it's not the right thing. Let's fix that. So okay. Do do do. Okay, it says it's getting a 200 on. Oh, there we go. Site is back. Great. Let me confirm the fix is durable. Surprise another clash clear, and that the install definition SKU value is not registered because otherwise it could re-break on the next rebuild. Good idea. Clear caches again in all caps and confirm no regression. I love that it's starting to talk like me. It's like I would absolutely write that sentence. And I feel like if it were like Matthew Saunders Claude, it would be like way more like chill and organized about things. Like, let me read blah, 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 like
Yeah, using the word durable, like
it is
from
using the word durable. Yeah, I wonder if that's a temporal thing.
temporal thing.
Yeah, it's interesting because that durability aspect and the ability to retry when things fail and stuff like that, that's like temporal's whole thing. That's my day job. So it's interesting that Claude at least attempts to have that built in.
Hmm.
Durable in bold. Cool. 403s are just anonymous. Cool. Blah blah blah. Since the root cause was an interrupted install, Angie, there may be other half installed types currently mass. Okay, fine. Yeah, go scan all the content things for missing base tables. That sounds good. Meanwhile, let's verify that the site loads again. So if I go to, I don't know, anything, a dashboard. Yep. So now I can go to extend and I can see what's in the modules. Okay.
Block
We no longer allow
content.
banning. That's interesting. Block is still there. Color's gone. That doesn't surprise me. Help module still kicking. Layout builder is deprecated. No, just layout builder expose all field blocks, whatever the hell that is. Okay, that's fine. PostgreSQL is now a module. Interesting. Okay. Huh. This is all stuff that I'm sure you all know. Oh, it's got all this AI junk in it. That's neat. I don't know what any of this stuff does, but we have some cool sessions coming up on this.
Well, you're working with Drupal CMS, so all of that stuff comes with it.
Yeah. So it's interesting that AI content. So context control center is not in here. That's interesting. I don't really
No.
know what context control center is other than I sort of do. It's like writing skills for your website and doing it in the database. So that it knows to like what your authoring rules are and stuff like that. So migrate examples. Interesting. Simple. Okay, sorry. How it happened, and it wasn't your config edits. The breakage had a pre-existing root cause plus a trigger I pulled. The root cause was the block content was much enabled, but its database schema was never installed. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why that would have happened. Okay, the fix. Where the migration stands. While diagnosing, I also completed the prep. All right, ready to launch it. Great. Ultra code, all the things. Hold on. I'm going to spell that right. Yay. All right. I want to go back to that cool workflows tab, but I can't do that unless it chooses to choose dynamic workflows, which it's not going to do unless we use the keyword ultra code, which up until 10 days ago was workflow. And I guess they just decided that was too broad. So now it's ultra code. Bebopping. Oh, that's a fun one.
I kind of
That's
wish that when they did the blue background stuff and the rainbow, when you first set up Ultra Code, that there was a voice that said Ultra Code.
Like Winamp, but like,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that could be arranged.
Yep.
Delicate config surgery.
Pre-solving delicate config myself beats delegating it to an agent. Yeah, okay. So it's still not going to do it. It's still going to be like, no, I refuse. I'm not doing dynamic workflows until I clean up this thing. And it's interesting. Which honestly is smart because this poor guy went all over the place. It did things very fast, wrongly, extremely fast. And yeah, that was good. How are we doing with our usage? We're up to 80. That hasn't really changed. That's interesting.
I think you have to close it. We'll put it again.
Well, hit shift reload or something. Okay. It's weird because I think Carlos or Sony was saying that that should refresh it, but it obviously doesn't. So you have to hard shift refresh to do that. Oh, it's doing routine runs. What is that now? Okay. All 925 comments are on story nodes only, 0 on pages. The poll or open's correct. It's now deliberating. I feel like deliberating is a little bit of a sadder word than bebopping. Bebopping makes it sound fun. Deliberating is like,
Yeah. Or like deliberating on your fate.
Yeah.
The jury is deliberating. The 12 agents are judging you in your ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. 20 minutes. You can do it.
Status bar is just so funny now.
Oh, that's a good one. Yes, there's a default node of privacy policy, which collides with node 1.
Oh, it's the classic off by 1 error.
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny.
Cool, cool.
That's a good catch. I've definitely been bit by that one before. What I'm curious about is if it'll catch that privacy policy is just like a default node in Drupal CMS, like it's not mine, and if it'll suggest deleting it instead of trying to adjust all of my node counts by 1, then fix all of my links, and then probably also do a bunch of HT access rules to make it so that it now redirects to the right places. I'm curious what it's going to do.
That's a really interesting thing, though. It's like Drupal CMS trying to be helpful by creating this default privacy policy node, and then that just completely fouling up any kind of attempted migration.
Yeah.
It does kind of bring about a question, though. Would you actually wouldn't you start with just Drupal core for migration? Because you're probably going to want to add a bunch of modules that exist in the previous site. And you're gonna have all of this stuff that you're not gonna need right at the beginning.
Yeah, it's a fair question. So what it decided to do, and I'm trying to figure out where that plan got stuck because I thought it would be in the root directory, but it's not. So I wonder where it
This
put
is
it.
like definitely a use case that the royal we Drupal community would want, right? Like,
Yeah.
you've got
So
a
I
blog.
asked Claude that to answer your question. Ooh, I bet I could find that in my old Claude thing. So it's like where we started from was we started in Claude AI and we asked it exploring Drupal cheapest. When was this? This would have been 9. migration. There we go. I bet that was it. So we had it come up with a plan.
Specific, yeah, right there it is, right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, there we go. So it specifically remembered the Drupal CMS distribution. And so that's why we are doing it this way.
It's funny that it's calling it a distribution when there's so much effort to like get away from that term with the
Is there?
recipes thing.
What are we
Yeah.
trying to use now?
Recipes.
Oh, recipe.
Yeah. But it's
So
just ironic because I mean, it's right kind of on a surface level, like from a marketing level, like, oh, you get so much more out of the box. But we're talking about a migration here. And what you get out of the box are some content. And so, and that collides with, or it needs to be considered when you have when you're doing a migration. So I wonder if like step 0, if you're going to do Drupal CMS is a migration to Drupal CMS is to delete the default
delete all the
nodes.
sample content.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's interesting is it did like you can tell it does some of that. Like if like the user one, which was named admin, is now named root because that's what it is on my site. So it just blew user
It
one
did
away
some
and
things,
replaced
yeah.
it with that. But it's less like it's nervous to do that, I guess, with this because it doesn't know. Oop, come back.
What it is.
NIDs are preserved. Okay, how are you preserving the NID? NID equals 1 is freed. How did you resolve the NID equals 1 conflict? I'm really curious about that. So it's going to preserve the rest of the nodes, but that one, what did you do?
It set the node ID to a virus emoji. Is my guess.
You did. Okay. Yep. Okay. So it figured out how to do that. Good.
Oh, it deleted the default. So if you refresh that, oh,
Yep,
it's gone.
it did. There.
Okay.
It's gone.
Yeah. Good.
All right. So now it's doing what it said it was going to do in the first place, which is write custom migrations. And so it appears to be doing that now.
Oh, it's doing it as a like a source.
Yeah, so back up here when I was talking about item potency and determinism and blah, 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 it was basically saying it's going to, rather than do a bunch of ddev drush migrate calls, it's going to like write a script so that it can be rerun multiple times. And then we can inspect the logic and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool, actually. So if I do Command O, you can see,
It's not writing YAML file migration.
no, it's writing against like the Drupal API, basically.
So it's not using the migrate API.
No, I guess it's not, because this is just like
Just
node
writing
load,
custom
database get
SQL.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now I'll author and launch the orchestration workflow. Strictly sequential migrate chain, no concurrent migrate ops. That's the cardinal rule. Then enrichment, then a parallel adversarial verification pass with the okay, and a completeness critic. Ooh, that's neat. So it's going to spin off an agent to basically judge what happened from the other agents and see if it's any good. I like that, actually. That's very cool.
It's interesting though, because it's like it used some of the migrations that were baked into the migrate module, but it's not using the migrate API, like the methodology,
Yeah.
but like using
At least in that one.
at least for this thing. Okay, maybe it's just this one thing, I guess. I guess it's the classic Drupal problem of like, well, you could do things more than one way. There's more than one way to get a wagon.
To ford the river
the
of the
trail,
wagon.
to ford the trail.
All right. What is this now? Holy cow. Okay, this is the workflow it made. Oh, neat. Okay. So import terms, files, comments, nodes, enrich with lead images, blocks, polls, adversarially verify. Love that. Migrate, enrich. So I guess it's going to be like, let's add let's get the content in there, kind of as step one, the core content. Then let's add like the sidebar blocks and stuff like that. And then have something running around trying to pick holes in it, basically. Okay. And neat, it's even telling how to tell if it worked or not. So there should be 89 terms in the tags vocabulary. We're going to delete that old one, right? The one that Drupal CMS shipped with. And so we don't end up with two of them. Here, they're going to import them all of these files. There should be 138 story nodes, 6 page nodes. Okay. Workflows away running in the background. Oh, good. I want to see that. How do I see that? Workflows. Yay, we're back to our thing again. Cool. So it's doing terms and tag. It got all 89 terms in there. Now it's doing files.
It looks like it's using Opus on the subagents. I don't know if you want to switch over to
Oh
Sonnet.
God, it is. Yep, let's pause. Please don't use Opus on the subagents, bro. I'm poor. So this is what Carlos was saying earlier, is like, give it a prompt that tells it to use dumber subagents. All right. And that's interesting. It stopped its own workflow without me having to do it for it, or so it appears. Yeah, it stopped it. Neat.
Well, ironically, like the lesser agent probably would have been fine for the migration, but then you probably wanted the higher agent for the verify stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and it's still cooking.
all right.
Holy crap. Okay. Escape. Workflows. How do I get it to stop that? It's weird. It's like jumping straight into the. Or rather, keep Opus for orchestration and critic, but use Sonnet Haiku for the nitty gritty. Oh. Subagents were inheriting Opus. Let me fix the script on the workhorse steps that they use Haiku. Yeah, great. So I didn't even need to tell it that. It figured out what I meant. Cool. Whoops. I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that.
Workhorse steps.
Yeah. So sorry. Please continue. I hit escape and it killed it in the middle of this thing. That's why I'm like, I find the interface a little goofy,
Yeah.
or sometimes I kill it without meaning
Okay,
to
so
kill it.
Sonnet is the higher one. What's Opus? God.
So Opus is
Well,
like big brain researchy, thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like, I don't know, Einstein. Then you got Sonnet, which is like reasonably smart. That's like Angie. And then you got like Haiku is like essentially a gopher that just goes and it bumps into the furniture and stuff. But if you give it the right guidance, it's okay. As long as like the task is really well laid out for it, basically, it can do it
Right.
pretty well.
Or like running scripts or tools that are already
Yeah.
defined.
0 Opus now. I don't know if I like that. Okay, the critic. Okay, verification lenses and critic around Sonnet. Sure, why not? Let's try that. Okay, no Opus anywhere. Okay, let's try that now. Good eyes, Marlene. Thank you for saving my money.
We need to
Okay,
preserve
so
the dining out budget.
right, we need to preserve the dining out budget, right? Like that's so important.
Priorities.
Okay. Completed. Okay, files. By the way, did it port the files already? Let's see. That would be in media, right? No, still nothing there. Grid. Oh, that's just like a different way of making it. Comments are not ported. Pages are not ported.
Oh, we have a home
Blocks are not
page. I wonder if
ported.
that's gonna also.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It at least found the files. I know one of the earlier runs, it's like, I can't find files anywhere. I'm just gonna fail, right? So at least it knows where that's at. Do. It's running PHP eval, interesting, to run database queries. Is there no like drush way to query a database?
Yeah, Josh SQLC or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In future runs, please use
There's SQL
instead of
colon
PHP
query.
eval calls for um, for auditability. Also interesting that I have auto mode on that's supposed to flag if anything dangerous is happening, and it's just chucking away like, yeah, PHP eval seems legit to me. And I'm just like, what's in that PHP eval, friend? Like, anyway. Um, it's interesting because they assume, right, like TypeScript and Python for the most part, and I think they're not necessarily up to speed on, especially Drupal specific tools that would be dangerous to run. But anyway,
Noted. And that's good practice.
that's good practice.
I'm glad you
Thank
agree.
you for validating me, Claude. I really needed that in my life. Why is it not doing nothing? Terms tags still running. Okay, now it's in files. tdev is running. All migrations are ready. Pass and correct. Do not edit config. Just run. Blah blah blah. Okay. So now it's doing a bunch of filesy things. And again, this is a bit of a jump because not only is it a problem to migrate the files in, but it's trying to also convert them to media entities on the way, I think. Nothing so far.
Are the image files, are the images in image fields, or are they inline in the text?
They are, because this is an old site, they are with upload module, friend. So, long time ago, there was a module called upload, and that was how you attach things to. And it
Oh, really?
wasn't like a field, like an entity field. It was like an add-on thing to a node, like a feature of a node. So
I
that's how
remember
it's,
that.
yeah. Once again, it's very, very old site. It's full of nonsense. That's why I love it so much, because it finds so many bugs in so many things when we use it. All right, folks, we're gonna hit time here. I don't know what to do. I feel like let's have a discussion about that. So one thing I can do apparently is hit save to like save the result of this and then be able to do it later, maybe.
Yeah, can
Except
you
it's
have
still
it
doing stuff, so that's
like find a stopping point and then do like a handoff or something or update that
yeah,
migrate
maybe.
status?
Okay, we gotta run. Could you auto save state once files complete, and then allow us to resume this at a future session? And then either it will do this or I'll run out of money. One of this will happen and that kind of thing. So what I'm trying to figure out though is like, that's fine, but We probably don't need a bunch of people to sit around waiting for Claude to do things on yet another session. Like maybe, like I feel like the valuable parts of this session were finding out all the ways that it screws it up. For example, going down the road of D6 instead of D7. That's a thing to fix right up front. How it when I engaged the smarter model, it knew to first validate all of the database stuff before even engaging sub agents and knowing not to run them in parallel because they'd step on each other, that kind of thing. So the actual mechanics of this, I don't know if it's that valuable to spin up a round 3 of this, but you tell me, would you guys want to, like, if I pause this and it actually stops, would we want to resume where we left off in a future session, or are we like kind of over the whole problem of how to migrate sites? That's a question I have for the group.
Well, I'd be curious to know how it, like, I think that you should run it offline and
Yep.
see how it goes. If there's some learnings that happen in that process for a future session, great. Otherwise,
Yep.
I think like what Marlene said is great idea to think about the theme porting.
Yeah, I
So
think the theme porting is a meaty enough topic that that is definitely worthy of its own session because that would be totally new stuff that we haven't seen it screw up yet, and I think that would be really valuable. But I feel like what's going to happen is it's going to continue doing this. It's going to keep hitting problems. We're going to keep getting Oregon Trail. We're going to have to forget. And I just feel like
yeah.
that we could do a whole nother session on it, but I just feel like I don't know if that's as valuable as what we've done so far. Anyway, it said your progress is already durable in 2 ways. The migrate maps back to the DB and the workflow saved as migrate version 2. But let me make my zooming bulletproof. I'll checkpoint migration state as soon as files lands. Files isn't done yet.
Okay, it deleted the only page earlier, the home. That must be the home page.
Whoa, yeah, interesting. Yeah, so it's still stuck on that. Anyway. Yeah. So, well, let's sort it out in IRC because I really do have to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Day job
Yeah.
calls and
All
all that. And
right.
I'm sure you all have other things to do too. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. We'll sort out next steps
This
in
was fun.
IRC. And yeah, this was really fun. Thank you so much for coming and staying an extra bit of time. And yeah, we'll figure it out from here. So awesome. Thanks so much,
Take care,
everyone.
everybody.